What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. Pirate Increase Admiral, 1 Ia, Chapter 1-1, Amplification Fruit, Seeking Recommendation, Seeking Investment. Advertisement. Grand Line, Marineford, at sea, a warship slowly docked at the port. Sakazuki Vice Admiral, wearing a sailor hat, a dark red suit, and a marine, justice, cloak, walked out of the boat and walked ahead with Kabuto in his hand. Behind him, a little red-haired boy with some big sailor hats on his head followed. Sakazuki turned his head and glanced at him, and continued walking. Seeing that Sakazuki was looking at himself, Lucas quickly followed closely. He is a traverser who traverses Lucas, a 9-year-old wanderer who became North Blue. A month ago, he was looking for food in the forest, and his face changed when he bit down a piece of fruit. That feeling is unforgettable in this life. Then he found out that he had eaten devil fruit. This is a devil fruit that hasn't appeared in the anime. Lucas discovered that since then, his power, speed, and even the ability to resist beating has been temporarily doubled several times. And just when he was about to find a kendo hall, learn kendo, and embark on the path of the strongest swordsman. The pirate is here. The whole town was full of screams. The pirates looted everywhere. Lucas, who was discovered by the pirates, fought with a passerby pirate. Then he was rescued by Sakazuki who was passing back to his hometown. Sakazuki. Lucas looked at Sakazuki who had wiped out the pirates and lifted himself onto the warship, and was stunned. Are you going to be a marine with me? Sakazuki said to him. Quote. Lucas said nothing, nodding vigorously. When? Must be. As long as you don't destroy him and the pirates together, you let him be anything you want. Sitting on the warship, Lucas, who was drinking hot porridge, lowered his head, not daring to look at Sakazuki's fierce eyes. Although before crossing, Tenten cursed, "Dark Hound, a Kainu, or something, but I really met a real person. It is hypocritical to say that you are not afraid. He fears. Advertisement. The fruits of the increase are great, but now he, in front of Sakazuki, is just a punch. 1 month of getting along. Sakazuki brought the meal with a straight face, Lucas tremblingly took it. Sakazuki sullenly asked about his devil fruit, Lucas tremblingly answered. Sakazuki asked about his family situation, Lucas Sather replied tremblingly. Sakazuki. Is the word devil written on my face? Sakazuki learned about the effect of Lucas' devil fruit. It can increase the speed, strength, hearing, vision, and resistance to beats. Then he listened to Lucas's tragic experience and decided to adopt him, but he also saw that the kid was afraid he was going to die. Sakazuki Tenten looked in the mirror and tried to make himself laugh. Lucas. You don't actually need to laugh, your usual expression is pretty good. Following Sakazuki all the way to the door of a house, Lucas looked around curiously. Boom. Come in. Sakazuki opened the door of the house and walked in. Oh, it's Sakazuki Vice Admiral, welcome back. Sengoku raised his head, grabbed the senbei from Garp's hand, and bit it. The crane sitting on the side Vice Admiral looked at the child behind Sakazuki, walked over and touched Lucas's head. Sakazuki, you went back to North Blue for a month, why did you bring back a child? I picked it up on the road. Sakazuki looked at Lucas and replied. This guy is so cute. Sakazuki, you gave birth to a son just a month after you returned to your hometown. Garp laughed. I said I picked it up on the road. Sakazuki said with a sullen face, Garp senpai was too much. This old man picks his nose with his left hand for a while, then eats senbei again, isn't it dirty? Lucas looked at Garp and asked. Puff ha ha ha. Sengoku patted Garp's head, his body trembling with laughter. I like this kid, what's his name? Sengoku looked at Sakazuki. Sakazuki patted Lucas on the shoulder with satisfaction, and shrugged to Senior Garp at the same time. My name is Lucas, Lucas said, energetic, sunny and hopeful. What a good name. Vice Admiral Crane patted Lucas on the head. Sakazuki looked at Lucas silently, his name full of hope, but the child had been a stray child since he was a child. Tenten lived the days of digging through the trash can in the small town and looking for wild fruits in the forest to fill his stomach. The hometown was ruined by pirates. Sakazuki clenched his fists, damn its era of pirates. Sakazuki told several people about Lucas's devil fruit ability. Sengoku and others looked at Lucas. This ability is very strong. If trained well, this kid will definitely be a powerful marine general when he grows up. Advertisement. Sakazuki, you leave him to me, I adopt him, and I can definitely train him to be the best marine. Garp clasped his nose, looking at Lucas, full of interest in this kid. Able to increase his strength, he can definitely train this kid to be a stronger iron fist than him. No. X2. Crane Vice Admiral and Sakazuki refused at the same time. Crane Vice Admiral walked over and grabbed Garp's ears. You old thing, your good grandson, you just throw it away at your hometown, Lucas can never leave it to you. Cough cough. Sengoku coughed slightly, whistling, and didn't see it. Sakazuki looked at Senior Garp. He would rather let Lucas stay with him than give Lucas to Garp. After all, Marineford is famous for Garp education. A shoe sole slapped Dorage away, and after having a grandson, he threw the grandson to his hometown, regardless. Moreover, Sakazuki still has a feeling that Garp was actually trying to beat Lucas and vent his anger at the words just now. Sakazuki, you leave Lucas to me, how about I take care of him and train him? Vice Admiral said, looking at Sakazuki. Lucas listened to the words of Vice Admiral Crane and stood behind Sakazuki and nodded to Vice Admiral Crane. I should train him. Sakazuki shook his head. Crane Vice Admiral's ship was full of female soldiers. He was afraid that Lucas was trained crookedly. He would have trained an iron-blooded soldier under his hand. He ended up on the Crane Vice Admiral ship. After he grew up, Lucas played a love game. Sakazuki couldn't bear to look straight. In the end, Sakazuki took Lucas and returned to his residence. Hey, poor Lucas. Crane Vice Admiral sighed. Are you afraid of me? Sakazuki sat on the sofa at home and poured a glass of water for Lucas. Not afraid. Lucas shook his head. After a month of getting along, Lucas realized that he had some mistakes in his previous understanding of Sakazuki. Sakazuki is actually a very qualified soldier. In order to prevent leaks, Ohara attacked the Ohara refugees. This is actually viewed from the standpoint of the military, and his approach is indeed correct. During the war, Sakazuki did the right thing to stop deserters. After all, deserters had to go to a military court in a previous life. It's just that someone said that Sakazuki is too righteous. If he were the protagonist, he wouldn't be able to serialize it for a year. And Lucas actually knew that as long as he grew up under the cultivation of Sakazuki, his path would definitely not be that of a certain admiral. Chapter 22. 20-fold increase. Seeking recommendation. Seeking investment. Advertisement. The next morning, when Lucas was sleeping, Misaka was dragged off the bed by Sakazuki and dragged into the yard. Lucas, in the next days, I will put you by my side to nurture you. You will become the best marine. Sakazuki patted his head. Understand. Lucas nodded. This is the future admiral, the future marine marshal, and Sakazuki, the lava fruit-capable person. In fact, if you don't look at the extremes of justice, it's good to stay by his side. 100 squats, 50 push-ups, after doing these, I will take you to the square for a run. Sakazuki lowered the standard as much as possible. Okay. Lucas quickly agreed. He is only 9 years old, and this amount of exercise is indeed a bit big. Sakazuki sat at the door, watching Lucas in the yard finish squatting, panting tiredly on the ground, and smiled helplessly. At Lucas's age, he had strong muscles, wore a hat with the word, justice, and started fighting with a dagger. Lucas took a break and continued to do push-ups while peeking at Sakazuki. Sakazuki smiled at him with satisfaction. Sakazuki's forced smile was a little scary, remembering the dense tattoos on the left arm of Sakazuki sitting shirtless in the room before going to bed last night. Hey, this smile is horrible. Swish. Lucas speeded up and did push-ups. Pop. After doing 50 push-ups, Lucas lay on the ground, panting, too tired. Even after crossing, his physique is much stronger than his peers in the previous life, but this is indeed too much exercise. Sakazuki came and grabbed him. Let's go, run around the square 10 times. Good. In the following days, Lucas began his devil training for several years at Marineford, under the instruction of Sakazuki. When Sakazuki was okay, he would sit in the square and watch Lucas train. At the same time, it will also supervise Lucas's ability to develop fruit. Every time he would test Lucas's fruit ability. Can it be increased by 5 times? Not bad. Can it be increased by 6 times? Advertisement. Keep going. Vice Admiral always scolded Sakazuki every time. He did not train children in this way. As a result, Sakazuki said from Vice Admiral, yes, I will change it. I forgot after I went back. See circle calendar was 1511. In this year, Lucas was 17 years old. Marine Headquarters Marineford, Sakazuki's house. Lucas is holding a white seaman hat and wearing it on his head. From today on, he will be a seaman. Yesterday he had secretly discussed with Uncle Pelusolino, and when he became a seaman, he would board Pelusolino's ship. Papa. Sakazuki walked into the yard and applauded at him. Yes, Brad, you are also an official marine. Hey. Lucas smiled and walked to the door. I'm leaving. In the past few years, under Sakazuki's education, he has experienced a hell childhood. However, Sakazuki's training is also useful, and now he has successfully used a 20-fold increase. Where are you going? Sakazuki looked at him suspiciously. Shouldn't this kid follow him on the boat? Uncle Pelusolino transferred me to his boat. Lucas laughed. It's okay for the old acting ape, it's safest to follow the old acting ape. Oh, this matter, I talked to Pelusolino this morning, you should follow me. Sakazuki patted Lucas on the shoulder. Boy, you are still young. It was not a matter of a word between his Sakazuki and Pelusolino. Quote. Lucas was speechless. Marineford, harbor, a warship docked on the shore. Sakazuki wore a white cloak and a crimson suit and stepped onto the warship. And Lucas looked at Kizaru, who shrugged his shoulders at him on the boat. Okay, you undercover, sooner or later expose you. Joke. On the boat, Lucas followed Sakazuki. Where are we going to perform the mission? Lucas asked. Take you to see the pirates and let you fight for a while. Sakazuki said while looking at the sea. Upon hearing the actual combat, Lucas became interested, and even forgot that Uncle Kizaru betrayed their friendship. The warship sailed above the sea, and after a while, they reached the Sabayati archipelago. Sabayati archipelago is composed of 79 largest mangroves in the world. Numbers 1 to 29 are mainly composed of human trafficking shops, human auctions, and illegal areas. Sakazuki put the map in front of Lucas and explained to him. Advertisement. In a while I will throw you into the illegal zone on the 16th, where not only will there be pirates, but there will also be batches of bounty hunters who come to catch you. Those guys actually do the same business as human traffickers. You can rest assured to attack them, don't show mercy. After Sakazuki said, he grabbed Lucas. Picking up Lucas's knife on the side, Sakazuki put down his marine cape and sailor hat, put on a mask, and went to the Sabayati archipelago. All the way to the 16th tree, Sakazuki dropped Lucas, jumped onto the mangrove trunk, and watched his first actual battle. In fact, at Marine headquarters before, Lucas also had pair training with those Marine students, but it was just a pair training. Only combat that truly threatens lives is called actual combat. Sakazuki used to go to sea on missions and sometimes took him with him, but at that time Sakazuki did not let him take action. Because Lucas knew that Sakazuki did not treat him as a Marine at that time. Lucas was standing in the street with a famous knife in his hand. Sakazuki said that he snatched it from a big pirate. This knife easily cut off his major's knife. Without even thinking about it, he took it back and gave it to Lucas. Because he still remembered Lucas yelling for a famous knife the day he arrived at Marineford. Sakazuki flipped through some books about famous knives and found the name of the knife. Good fast knife 50 workers black cut. The pirates all gathered around, staring at him with a sneer. Boy, do you see the Marine corpse hanging on the tree over there? A pirate shouted with a knife. I saw it, your father saw it, Lucas said with a smile. A dozen pirates surrounded him, and when they heard this, they scolded one after another. Kill me this seaman. The pirate in the lead was furious and slashed with his knife. Snapped. Lucas grabbed the opponent's hand, and now he can grab the opponent with only 2 times the speed increase. Pouch. Lucas slashed the opponent to the ground, smiling as he watched a dozen pirates attack him. 5 times the power. Turn on at 5 times faster. Chapter 3-3. Shaved out of the iron fist of love. Seeking recommendation. Seeking investment. Advertisement. Lucas quickly shuttled between the pirates, slashing the pirate's neck with one knife after another. With 5 times the speed on, he would not be hit by the pirates' knives when facing these pirates. Often when they were besieging him, they would hit him. Lucas always dodged, and then flexibly came to a pirate and wiped each other's neck together. On the mangrove trunk, Sakazuki nodded in satisfaction. After getting along for so long, he could see that this kid was using 5x speed. A dozen pirates have been abused at only 5 times speed, and this kid has been recruited to hit the key points, which makes him very satisfied. Marine will be like this, facing the pirate, he must kill the pirate mercilessly. Boom. In the distance, a pirate drew his gun and shot Lucas. Kang. Lucas instantly increased the speed to full, smashed the bullet with a knife, and sprinted towards the opponent. Bang bang bang. The flustered pirate kept his gun off, and Lucas kept flying the bullets. With multiple speeds and multiple strengths, he will not be stagnated by shaking his hands when the bullet is shot. When he came to the opponent, he wiped the pirate's neck with a knife. Lucas looked at the dozens of pirates lying on the ground, carrying the knife and looking up at Sakazuki standing on the trunk of the mangrove tree. Yes, Sakazuki nodded. Jump out of the tree and take Lucas back to the warship. Sakazuki took out a thin book from the suit and threw it to Lucas. Lucas quickly opened it and checked it out. This was a good thing in his heart. Your abilities are too suitable for 6 forms, but remember, you can't spread it out after you learn it. Sakazuki said solemnly. Understood. Lucas nodded, happily flipping through the book that recorded the 6 cultivation methods. In fact, in Marine, you can also learn 6 types. However, under normal circumstances, only excellent Marine generals or Marines who have received rewards from the upper level can learn. Sakazuki is an excellent Vice Admiral, of course there are 6 types. After all, they are the future Admiral, the future Marshal, although the reputation is really not very good. Advertisement. But for him, Sakazuki is still good. The warship returned to Marineford. To Lucas's surprise, Sakazuki really drove the warship to get him to fight with a few rookie pirates. Beside their warship, is a doghead warship with a bone in its bow. Yeah, it's Sakazuki, you kid, wait, isn't this Lucas? Garp jumped over, grabbing his nose with one hand, and patted Lucas on the head after he buckled. Lucas quickly ran behind Sakazuki. Hey, he would rather follow the stern Sakazuki than Garp. This old man, kaka kaka, Garp grabbed the senbei with his nose-picking hand and ate it. It's nauseating. This kid, didn't you dare to speak ill of me when I first met me? Why are you still afraid of me now? As a Marine, you are not very courageous. Garp looked at Lucas who was hiding behind Sakazuki. Senior Garp, where are you going? Sakazuki asked. Oh, I am going back to my hometown to see my good grandson. I am going to train that kid. I am going to train him to be the strongest Marine in the future. Ha ha ha. Garp smiled happily. Although his son is unbelievable, but his good grandson is still young, he can still be educated and trained to become an excellent Marine. Oh, Sakazuki looked at Garp and became interested. How about this, Garp Sr., how about you take this kid and help me train him? Okay, I'm so willing. Garp looked at Lucas and rubbed his fists. He wanted to punch and cough for a long time. No, he wanted to train this kid with the fruits of growth a long time ago. He is very happy when he thinks that Marine can have 2 young Tekken Admiral in the future. What? Lucas is a swordsman. What does it matter? Under his Garp's iron fist of love, Lucas will understand what genre is really true. After half an hour, Lucas was slipped onto the Kotu warship by Garp, and was put down by the opponent. Lucas stood on the bow, watching Sakazuki's back leave. Just abandoned me like this. Smelly boy. Don't look at it, we will go back to East Blue next, and I will train you well in the next days. Garp said, chewing senbei. To go to the Grand Line, the pirate needs to go through the upside-down mountain and enter the Twin Capes before entering the Grand Line. Of course, there is also a second method, which is to forcibly break into the calm belt and directly rush through the calm belt. Advertisement. There are too many sea kings in the wind, and most of the pirates who venture into the calm belt are attacked and destroyed by the sea kings. For marine, there are special ships that are used to pass through the calm belt. The bottom of this kind of ship is embedded with seastone, which can emit the same energy as the sea. Sea kings generally ignore this kind of ship embedded with seastone. Lucas sits on Garp's boat. Just after leaving Sakazuki's devil training, he has Garp's iron fist of love. He Vice Admiral said that his name represents sunshine and is a name full of hope. But after he traveled into this world, he was picking up food everywhere at first, and then finally he was adopted. Well, the person who adopted him is called Sakazuki. It was so difficult to live so big, and he was killed when he was not trained by Sakazuki, and finally became a seaman. Boarded Garp's ship again. Takes Garp's monkeys training every day. With a big bag on his head, Lucas sat in the dining room and gobbled it up. He ate a fish in no time. Now he can finally understand Dorag and Luffy, why one became a revolutionary army and the other became a pirate. Just look at the shoe prints on Dorag's face and Luffy's concussion, just a joke. It's all forced by the iron fist of love. Oh, eat and eat more. I didn't expect your kid to learn how to shave in such a short time. It seems that my training is still very useful. Garp sat down, holding 2 large bowls of food, and patted Lucas' head. It hurts, it hurts. Lucas stared at the old man, beat him a big bag on the head in the morning, and now patted the big bag on his head again. Damn the old man. Ah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I'll give you this pot, eat more and nourish it, we will be at East Blue in the afternoon. Garp pushed a large bowl of food in front of Lucas. After Lucas finished eating what was in his bowl, he directly picked up the big pot and gobbled it up. Ha ha ha, eat more and eat more. Only if you eat more can you become a good marine. Garp watched Lucas madly eating, and after a while, he was half done with a pot of rice, and smiled with relief. Where did Sakazuki pick up the kid? What a huge appetite. Looking at Lucas gorging himself, Garp thought of his grandson he hadn't seen in a long time. He, I can train 2 future Admiral, double happiness. Chapter 4:4. Reverse amplification taste buds. Seeking recommendation. Seeking investment. Advertisement. East Blue, a passenger ship flees from the kingdom of Korkia. And on the passenger ship, is it far enough from Korkia? The captain of the passenger ship asked while standing in the captain's room. We are far away from Korkia now, and those lunatics shouldn't catch up. The navigator on the side replied. On the deck, there was a quarrel at this time. The captain and the navigator looked out the window and looked at the farce amusedly. Let me be your trainee chef. I taught myself how to cook before. You can do anything you want me to do. Don't drive me off. A dirty, curly-brow blonde kid was caught by the crew, constantly struggling. Hey, I said little devil head. When you get to the next island, you will roll off for me, dare to steal our boat. Really, it's the cook. You little kid playing in mud is almost the same. The passenger ship crew grabbed the roll. The brow blonde kid reprimanded. Inside the captain's room, the captain and the navigator looked at the kid arguing with the crew amusedly. There was a knock on the door, and the captain said, please come in. A chef walked in with a spoon in his hand. Captain, the previous apprentice chef has disappeared. We should have rushed to land him in Korkia, or we should go back. No need, let that kid be your trainee chef, ha ha ha. The captain smiled, pointing at the blonde kid outside the window. Let me see. The chef left the captain's room and came to the deck, patted the crew to make him feel relieved by the blonde kid. Just about to ask the other person, the chef saw the warship approaching in the distance, and his attention was drawn to him. A dog's head warship gradually approached. On the dog's head, Garp was sitting and eating senbei, with Lucas standing behind him. Hey, smelly old man, don't grab my senbei. Lucas put down his binoculars, looked at the senbei that disappeared beside him, and grabbed Garp's arm. Garp didn't care. He reached into the bag with his nose-buttoned hand, grabbed a handful of senbei, put it in his mouth and started chewing. Then Garp grabbed another hand and handed it to Lucas. Forget it, I don't want it. Lucas gave up. Uncle Sengoku didn't dare to eat the senbei that had been contaminated by Garp's hands. Garp. Shark and pig heart. Smelly old man, wait a while, I have something to do. After that, Lucas jumped up, stepped on the air, and used moonwalk to head towards the opposite passenger ship. After learning to shave, moonwalk soon learned. This has nothing to do with talent issues, but the two skills are somewhat similar. After learning to shave, moonwalk is not too difficult. Advertisement. Shaving is an instant, continuous high-speed stepping on the ground dozens of times to produce explosive reaction force, high-speed movement. Moonwalk uses strong foot power to step in the air to generate strong airborne force. Lucas came to the passenger ship, landed, stepped on the deck, and watched closely the blonde kid he had found in the binoculars. Did something happen here? Lucas looked at the crew and chef. Hello, nothing happened. It was just a little guy who stole aboard and we are going to take him in. The chef looked at the marine, flying, and was very surprised. Oh, Lucas stepped forward, bending over, carefully observing the child in front of him. With curly eyebrows, blonde hair, a little dirty clothes, aggrieved little eyes staring at him, crying at any time. There is a trace of familiarity. Lucas stretched out his hand and patted the other's head. Boy, I'm from North Blue, where is your hometown? I'm North, the blonde kid said halfway and quickly covered his mouth. I'm from East Blue. Ha ha ha, I can't lie. Lucas laughed and patted the kid on the head vigorously. It turned out to be Vinsmoke Sanji, the LSP of the future Straw Hat Group, the best cook Blackfoot Sanji. What is your name? Lucas asked. Sanji. Sanji said. What's the last name? Lucas smirked. I don't have a surname. Tears flickered in the corner of Sanji's eyes, thinking of his father's words. The more he thought about it, the more sad. Ha ha ha, I don't have a surname. Lucas patted Sanji's head. How about kid, do you want to be a marine with me? I'm going to be a chef. Sanji glared at Lucas. No problem, after that I have my own warship, how about you become my queen chef? Lucas patted Sanji's head and smiled. As a foodie and hamey, how can I let him go when I meet Sanji? Really, can I really be a royal chef? Sanji looked at Lucas excitedly. This is the first time someone has spoken to him like this and recognized his ideals. Really, Sanji, let me be marine with me. Lucas said seriously. Well, I do. Sanji nodded, and Lucas grabbed her little hand. Advertisement. Sorry, I decided to adopt this little guy, so I'll leave. Lucas waved to the chef and crew, picked up Sanji, and used moonwalk to return to the warship. Go to the warship. Garp looked at the kid who was hiding behind Lucas, holding Lucas's legs and poking his head, peeking at him, clasping his nose. Lucas, how did you kidnap a kid? Garp looked at him inexplicably. Smelly old man, grab the senbei with your nose pickling hand, you are so disgusting. Sanji said, hiding his head behind Lucas's leg. Ha ha ha, Lucas laughed, and patted Sanji's head comfortably, bold. His name is Sanji, and he is now homeless. Just now those people were discussing him, so I brought him back and decided to adopt him. Lucas patted Sanji's head and said. Oh, Garp clapped his hands. Does that mean that my team needs special training from 2 to 3? Yes, Lucas gave Garp a thumbs up. At noon, Sanji walked into the restaurant with 2 plates of self-made meals, sat down, and handed one to Lucas and the other in front of him. Lucas, who was grabbing a rice bowl and gorging himself, caught the plate directly, and ate up Sanji's rice 2 or 3 times, and quickly picked up the wine and poured it out. Oh, Sanji's cooking is so delicious, I want to try it too. Garp walked over, took the plate in front of Sanji forcibly, and ate it directly. Garp chewed, his face was ugly, looked at Sanji's expectant gaze, smiled reluctantly, and swallowed the food. How is it? Sanji looked at the two expectantly. He had been learning from the chef in the kitchen for a long time just now. It's delicious. Lucas gave Sanji a thumbs up. Shin said that it was okay that he had developed a negative increase before. Negative increase. Taste buds. Shrink 20 times. Close black lens bracket. Very delicious. Garp smiled wryly. What kind of dark food? Garp looked at Lucas and felt that this kid had a fight with his good grandson in terms of eating. It's delicious. Just finish it. This meal contains Sanji's full of love, Lucas laughed. Garp squeezed his own iron fist. Chapter 5-5. Take him to Marineford. Seeking recommendation. Seeking collection. Seeking investment. Advertisement. East Blue, in the Kingdom of Goa, crossed Mount Gorbo, continued walking for a while, and returned to a place called Windmill Village. Compared with the mountains of garbage outside the high walls of Gaojun in the Goa Kingdom, Windmill Village seems more worthy of the word beauty. In the village, the windmill was spinning slowly, and a black-haired boy ran down the street. Luffy, come here, put this on. Makino waved at the door of a bar. Wow, this dress is so beautiful. The black-haired child ran over and looked at the little short-sleeved top in Makino's hand. Go and play. Makino helped him change into new clothes, took the dirty clothes and drove away the child, and went to wash the child. The black-haired child happily ran all the way to the edge of the village, looking at the Kodu warship that appeared in sight, and ran to the pier in surprise, shouting, Grandpa. On Garp's warship, Lucas was doing push-ups, while Sanji was holding a book in his hand and looking at the railing. Grandpa, Sanji curiously looked at the distant shore. Whose kid is calling Grandpa at the warship? Lucas, you see a kid looking for Grandpa, should we help him? Sanji looked back at Lucas. Lucas stopped push-ups, stood up, patted Sanji's blonde hair, and looked at the opposite shore. How to help? You can even help him if you agree. Lucas urged Sanji to respond. Yeah, to the kid. Puff. Sanji laughed. Okay, you are too bad, Lucas. The warship was docked at the pier. Garp sighed, and walked out of the lounge with his nose clasped. He was asleep just now. Hearing the sweet voice of the good grandson by the dock, Garp instantly came to his spirits and jumped directly over the railing, hugging the good grandson and burst into laughter. Quote. Lucas and Sanji got off the boat. Sanji raged on Lucas's clothes. This bad guy actually framed him. This stupid silly boy in front of him turned out to be the grandson of Garp Vice Admiral. If he really did what Lucas said just now, would he be beaten less by Sanji in the coming days? Luffy, this is Lucas, this time I came back to accompany you and train you by the way. In the future, you two will be strong Marines. Garp patted Luffy's head and embraced Lucas. Said on his shoulder. Advertisement. What about me? What about me? Sanji hurriedly pulled Garp's clothes corner. Why not talk about him? Oh, and Sanji, he's going to be a cook. Garp said, leading a few people to the village. Hey, I didn't say I want to be a marine, I want to be a pirate. Luffy said angrily. Lucas glanced at Luffy's head. Without a straw hat, it seemed that Shanks hadn't come to Windmill Village yet. Before Shanks came Luffy. I'm going to be a pirate. After Shanks came to Windmill Village and left Luffy, I'm going to be One Piece. Good guy, Shanks is just a catalyst, but Luffy wanted to be a pirate from the very beginning. You are unbelievable, you can say it again. Garp punched Luffy angrily on the head. The kid Dorag ran to become the GM army, and now he is pinning his hopes on this good grandson, but he didn't see him for a while, and even his good grandson would not listen to him. Is his Garp's iron fist not working? Garp turned his head and glanced at Lucas. It's not right. This kid is in Sakazuki's house. He is very obedient, and it is said that Sakazuki is such a temperamental D who trains Lucas extremely strictly and has never heard of it. Lucas is so rebellious. Hey, Grandpa only stays here for 3 days and then leaves, but brat, you'd better figure it out for me. Garp said helplessly. Several people came to Makino's bar. Luffy and Sanji ate the food that Makino brought. Garp and Lucas were drinking. Lucas, I want to ask, how did Sakazuki educate you? Garp asked. He doesn't need fists. Lucas laughed. Education without fighting. Garp didn't believe it. He kicked directly. Lucas laughed. Why did he look for an ape before and want to play the ape boat? After all, Sakazuki's leg is so painful. A 20-fold increase in resistance is not enough for a kick. Too much than Grandpa Smelly. Luffy patted Lucas sympathetically. It turns out that they are all poor people with the same experience. Hey, be a pirate with me. Luffy shouted. I'm Marine. Before Garp hit Luffy, Lucas directly hit Luffy's head with a 20 times strength. Advertisement. Luffy was hit directly by Lucas, and the chair he was sitting on was hammered away. Idiot. Sanji glanced at Luffy and invited Marine to be a pirate. This guy really dared to do it. Okay, it hurts. Luffy turned around, clutching his head. Deserve it. Garp took a sip of wine. Woohoo, it's so cool. Garp Vice Admiral, I suggest you take Luffy back to Marineford directly this time, where there are enough Marines to teach this stinky boy. Lucas glared at Luffy, and then said to Garp. Good idea, but I'm not good at raising kids, so forget it. Garp waved his hand. You don't need to care about him, I can take care of him. Anyway, I took Sanji in. It doesn't matter if you have one more. Lucas said. Garp looked at him in surprise. Then it's settled. Garp clapped happily and stood up directly. Quote. Luffy stared blankly at these two damn it guys, so he decided his future. Let's go, then we don't need to stay here, just go back to Marineford. Garp said, and poured a bottle of wine directly. Good. Lucas stood up. The current Luffy hasn't met the red-haired Shanks, hasn't put on a straw hat, hasn't become that pirate Wong Luffy ridicule. But Lucas estimates that Shanks should be here in a few months. People's ideals will change with age, environmental influences, and the influence of people around them. Luffy will go to sea as a pirate because he was left in his hometown by Garp since he was a child, although he has the care of the village chief and Makino. But Luffy grew up as a person at first, and later met Shanks. He deepened his dream of forming a pirate, and later, he met Ace and Sabo. His eldest brother and second brother also talked about being a pirate all day long. The people he had been in contact with since childhood, a future 4 emperors, and the other 2 clamored to be pirates all day long. The point is that Garp left him alone in the village. He came back and stayed for 2 days, hammered in the iron fist of love, and then hurried away. With such a growing environment and a person, he would be a ghost if he can be a marine. Hey, don't make any suggestions. Luffy was taken out by Lucas, yelling and slapped his hands. I don't understand why I met Sanji. You can read Sanji's memories. There is a Big Mom chapter. Sanji was imprisoned by his father. His sister released him and got the key. When the Vinsmoke family attacked East Blue Korkia, Sanji he was let go by his sister. His father saw him but didn't stop him. Sanji boarded a passenger ship. Please see the animation. Chapter 6:6. 20 times the shells. Seeking investment. Seeking collection. Seeking recommendation. Advertisement. Boom boom boom. On the sea, a pirate ship ran away quickly, followed by a dog-headed warship chasing it. Run, Garp is here, everyone, run. Shanks stood on the boat, shouting loudly. This idiot. Ben Beckman held his forehead helplessly and commanded everyone to control the ship. Oh, that's amazing. Shanks stood at the stern, looking at the cannonball thrown by Garp in the distance. The cannonball was touched by the guy on the warship, and it became 20 times bigger. Shanks jumped up and hit the cannonball directly with a slash, and the cannonball exploded halfway through. Huh, I'm scared to death. If the shell is bigger, it will be troublesome. Shanks patted his chest and laughed. Just this morning, Shanks and his red hair pirates happened to meet Garp who was leaving East Blue. On the warship chasing behind, Lucas's hand touched the cannonball. The cannonball originally placed in Garp's hand suddenly became 20 times larger. Open black lens bracket amplification quality 20 times. Close black lens bracket. Ha ha ha, your kid's ability is fun. Garp weighed the enlarged cannonball, swish and threw it at red hair pirates. Seeing that there is no Luffy, the pirate can only be chased by Marine. Lucas touched Luffy's head, flicking him. In fact, when Garp met the redhead ran away without hitting it. Lucas didn't know which of these two men fought each other, but he knew a little. Shanks didn't want to fight at all because of the trouble. But even so, it is enough to add, the pirate has no future, to Luffy's impression. Hey, Luffy turned his head, sulking, his small eyes secretly looked at the pirates in the distance, and secretly cheered them up. Run. The pirate is never Marine's opponent, idiot. Sanji made a face at Luffy and stood behind Lucas. Lucas, won't you come and fight? This is the red hair pirates that has been in the limelight recently. Garp smiled and took another 20 times the quality of the shell, throwing the item red hair pirates. Boom. The shells blasted into the sea not far from the pirate ship, shaking the pirate ship violently. The boxes on the red-haired pirate's ship kept tumbling, and people clung to things around them. Rear. Lucas stood at the bow of the ship, drew his knife, and slashed at the opposite ship. Amplification power 20 times. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket increase quantity 20 times. Close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Lucas's S slashes were instantly divided into 20 slashes, and each slashing wave expanded 20 times, slashing towards the red hair pirates. Oh, this is too fun. Shanks swung several times and blocked all the slashes one by one. Hey, boy, what kind of devil fruit are you? It's so fun. The red hair looked at Lucas with interest. This guy can make the shells 20 times bigger, and can also increase the number and power of slashes. Doubled. What exactly is devil fruit? Momo fruit. No, that Momo fruit ability person should be locked in Impel Down now. Shanks looked at the guy on the opposite boat, but couldn't figure out what the fruit was. Hey, kid, do you know the armed color? Garp turned to look at Lucas. I know, Lucas said, the blade covered with armed color. This year he has just developed armed color and seeing and hearing color. Of course, without the increase, it is just a rookie level. Then do you know the advanced use of armed colors? Garp asked. I know. Lucas nodded, knowing but not sure. Then I will show you the power of armed color. After all, Garp took the shell that Lucas had doubled, and the armed color was wrapped around the shell. Whoosh. The cannonball flew out and hit the sea near the pirate ship, shaking the pirate ship violently. Oh, old man, you are pretty good, but I don't want to play with you anymore. Goodbye. Shanks sat on a treasure chest, waved to Garp, and stood up at the same time. Buddy, look good. Garp took Lucas's doubled shells again, and kept throwing them to the pirate ship. Lucas kept busy increasing the shells. He was not surprised that Garp would be a high-level armed S*X. After all, he had teamed up with Roger to defeat Rock's pirate. It's normal to have high-level armed colors. As for why did you not teach Luffy? Luffy was still young at the time, so he taught for nothing. Boom boom boom. Cannonballs continued to bombard the sea near the pirate ship, or were shot by Shanks. But the huge impact shook the pirate ship constantly, like duckweed. Hey, old man Garp, don't go too far, we just don't bother to bully the elderly. Alas, Shanks scolded Garp with the railing. Suddenly the boat tilted sharply, scared him to help him quickly. Captain, where's the box? Reiki Lu gnawed the meat and pointed to the place where Shanks had been sitting, which was now empty. Huh, Shanks quickly looked back. Where is the box sitting under his advertisement? Oh, bad. What to do, friends? Shanks grabbed his hair and looked at the friends anxiously. He lost the box. I can't stand you, Captain Idiot. Ben Beckman patted his forehead. Can't this guy be reliable once? Several people grabbed the railing and looked towards the sea. There. Ben Beckman pointed to the sea behind, a wooden box floating on the sea. Thank you for your help. Lucas used moonwalk to hang over the sea, reached out and grabbed the wooden box, opened it, and inside was a devil fruit. A*hole, give it back to me. Shanks grabbed the railing and was about to jump over, but was stopped by Ben Beckman. Ha ha ha, Lucas did a great job. Garp was worried about the cannonball in one hand and patted Lucas on the head with the other. ... After half a day, somewhere in East Blue. Luffy stood by the boat, looking at the sea and sighing. He thought that the group of pirates would catch up and fight with Grandpa to snatch the box, but they ran away. So disappointed. Restaurant on board. Lucas was holding the rice bowl and pulling the food vigorously. And Sanji sat aside, holding his bowl, eating slowly. That kid Luffy is sulking again. Garp asked while eating with his rice bowl. Ha ha ha, why didn't that kid catch up with the pirate to fight? Lucas smiled and slapped the wooden box in the middle of the table. He really didn't expect that the rubber fruit in Shanks's hands would be so easily picked up by him. But when he saw the box floating not far away, he didn't know what it was, but he didn't pick it up. After all, he was next to Garp. What was he afraid of? Luffy pouted, sitting on the side of the boat, sulking, watching the pirate ship appearing on the sea in the distance, and the pirate flag painted with cat bones, and his eyes lit up. There are pirates. The seaman on guard shouted loudly. In the restaurant, Lucas and Garp heard the shouts and swallowed the rest of the meal. Lucas took the knife and rushed out. At this time, Shanks went to West Rob village to find Usopp and made him his partner. He would stay in Usopp's West Rob village for a period of time, while Garp only stayed in his hometown for a few days to visit relatives, but the protagonist gave him a word inspiration. I took Luffy directly, so I didn't rest in my hometown, and walked straight away. If there is no protagonist, Garp's red hair is basically out of touch, so the red hair unfortunately ran into Garp. Chapter 77. A mere black cat pirate group. A second kill. Seeking collection. Seeking investment. Seeking recommendation. Advertisement. Captain Crow. The opposite is Garp. Sam crouched holding his binoculars, and looked at the guy standing on the Kowloon warship in the distance in shock. Iron Fist Garp. Fat Boozy yelled in panic. Marine Hero Garp. Zangao also shouted in a panic, and quickly turned the helmsman. A** hole, which side are you on? Chloe kicked Zangao's A**, his cold eyes staring with praise. Turn around, evacuate at full speed. Crow ordered. Quote. Zangao and the three looked at the captain speechlessly, and seeing how he was showing off just now, they thought the captain was not afraid. The black cat pirates turned around and ran away. Then, that guy flew over. A pirate pointed at the man in the sky, and sat on the deck with fright. What? Crow turned to look, startled. How come someone stepped on the air and came here? The concepts of hockey and six types are rarely known in the paradise in the first half of the Grand Line. Not to mention the whole world. Where did Crow and others have seen Moonwalk? They only thought that it was a powerful marine who had eaten devil fruit. Lucas stepped on the Moonwalk and came to the sky above the black cat pirates, and directly chopped out the chopping wave at the bottom. The power and number of chopper waves are multiplied by 20 times. 20 chopping waves slashed towards the pirate ship below. Crow used a silent cloth and quickly withdrew back. 20 chopping waves fell, and the pirates used their weapons to block them. Puff puff puff. Chopping wave kept hitting the pirates, knocking them down one after another. Ship, Captain. Sam fell in a pool of blood, reaching out to Crow, who was unharmed, for help. Crow stood aside and pushed his glasses with his palms, not long after his pirate group was established. There are not so many people many years later. Zangao is only good at hypnosis, can't dodge, and is hit by chopping waves. Bougie was also hit. Among his capable men, Sam was still alive, but Sam was hit in the thigh while avoiding, and he lost too much blood and died quickly. Hurry up and surrender, or I will kill more of your little brothers. Lucas stepped on Moonwalk and said in the sky. Huh. Chloe turned his head and glanced at the remaining 7 little brothers, and rushed to the edge of the boat with a silent step. I won't be caught by you. Crow was about to jump off the boat. The captain abandoned us. Sam watched Crow escape in despair, fainting in a pool of blood. Captain, the other brothers shouted unwillingly. Can you run past me? Advertisement. Lucas landed on the deck, blocking Crow. Kang. Lucas's S-knife collided with Crow's espada cat's claw. Crow stepped back. Don't force me, Crow roared. He had just established the pirate group not long after he looted only one passenger ship. He has not enjoyed the banquet after the plunder, and he does not want to be imprisoned in a dark cell. Spoon. Chloe disappeared in place, and a knife mark suddenly appeared on the deck of the ship. What? A pirate clutched his neck, spurted blood and fell to the ground. The direction is not well controlled. Lucas smiled, and the knife body covered the armed color and hit the cat's claws that chopped off Crow at him. Crow fell on the deck, and the espada cat's claws in his hand had all been severed at this time. Crow grabbed the broken blade on the side and used the spoon again. This is not going to drop. Lucas shook his head. Wield a knife. Amplification power 20 times. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Increase quantity 20 times. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Amplification speed 20 times. Close black lens bracket. 20 chopping waves quickly rushed away. In an instant, the high-speed moving Clow was hit by several chopping waves and fell to the ground to death. At the same time, all of the remaining younger brothers of Crow were killed by chopper wave. Lucas stood on the pirate ship, humming a song, next to the seamen on the Kodu warship coming. Oh, Lucas, what a good kid you can do. Garp patted Lucas on the shoulder. After training Lucas, he has been urging Lucas to give up kendo and beat the pirates with an iron fist like him. But he didn't expect that Lucas could still use the fruit ability to play so many tricks in kendo. It's okay, the opponent is too weak. Lucas glanced at the pirate who was dragged away by the marines. Everyone, take all the supplies and Bailey of the pirates. Don't leave anything for the other pirates. Lucas shouted. Oh, the marines responded one after another, and Lucas was right. Leave no stitches to the wild pirates. Brother Lucas is so amazing, I want to be a great swordsman like you. Sanji suddenly shouted. Lucas quickly looked at him nervously. Be good. Because of him, this kid started admiring him, wanting to be a swordsman. Advertisement. What about the black feet? No, you can't be a swordsman. Lucas slapped Sanji on the head. Why? Sanji looked at his eldest brother in puzzlement. The eldest brother is his idol. Why can't he become a great swordsman like his eldest brother? Your main business is a chef, right? Lucas crouched in front of Sanji, rubbing his blonde hair. Yes. Sanji nodded without hesitation. Extend your hand, Lucas said. Sanji stretched out his palms, wondering what the hell was going to do. Lucas held Sanji's hand. Remember Sanji, the chef's hand is sacred to the chef, and the knife in his hand is the same. It can only be used to process ingredients and make every meal for the hungry. Absolutely must not let the chef's knife be stained with people's blood. 4. Sanji was about to ask when Lucas slapped him on the head. There is no why, you are a chef, nothing more. Feeling that Lucas rarely has a stern look, Sanji nodded, remembering the words in his heart. Then I can only be a cook, can't I fight the pirates with everyone? Sanji asked. There are many ways for seamen to fight. You can use foot skills. Kick all the pirates into the cell. Lucas rubbed Sanji's head and said with a smile. Marine has a lot of outstanding talents. I learned my kendo from Uncle Marines, and there are many outstanding Marines to teach your foot skills. Lucas said. Lucas stood up and looked at Luffy who was pouting. I ignored this kid. Lucas and Sanji went to help the Marines carry supplies, and Luffy. Really weak. Luffy looked at the pirate ship with disgust. After dozens of minutes, everyone returned to the warship. Garp was thinking about a 20-fold cannonball and threw it out. The pirate ship was sunk and sank into the gloomy depths of the sea. Boy, I remember that D*********** Sakazuki asked you to be a seaman from the bottom of seaman recruit. Garp patted Lucas on the shoulder. Yes, Lucas nodded. This time you killed a pirate group alone, I guess you can be a sergeant, Garp said. Sakazuki, this B********** D is too much, he even let this kid do it from the bottom. One can learn 2 of 6 styles, 2-color hockey, and develop devil fruit so well. Marine uses devil fruit's abilities in conjunction with kendo. It turned out to be just a seaman recruit. Puff ha ha ha. Garp couldn't help it, grinning. Crow skills. 1. Silent step, high-speed movement silent assassination technique controllable 2. Spoon, silent step, indiscriminate attack, use high-speed movement and hand cat claw attack, can kill a large number of enemies, so fast that even the person who makes the move does not know what he will cut uncontrollable. Chapter 8-8. The power to sink the pirate ship. Seeking collection. Seeking recommendation. Seeking investment. Advertisement. Hey, old smelly man, don't eat my share. Ahahaha, it's still the smell of other people's barbecue. The warship was docked on a desert island. Sure. Lucas was doing push-ups while Garp Vice Admiral was sitting on his back, holding a boulder in one hand and nibbling on a barbecue in the other. On the side, Sanji was eating barbecue and counting the number of push-ups Lucas did. 98, 99, 100, 101. 101.1, 101.2, 101.3. Next to him, Luffy smirked while eating barbecue. It's not that he is too bad, but that Lucas did him before. Hey, don't make trouble, be careful I hit you. Sanji glared at Luffy, rolled up his sleeves, and started fighting anytime. He had long been displeased with this smirk boy who was grinning all day long. As a grandson of Marine, he kept talking about pirate freedom all day long. For Sanji, it was Lucas who was Marine who adopted him. Lucas let him have enough food and clothing, let him learn the cooking skills with the excellent chefs on the warship, and also endure the unpleasant meal he made by his inadequate learning skills. Teach him and train him. This Luffy dared to talk back to big brother Lucas every day. Hey, what's so good about Marine? Luffy pouted and tilted his head to ignore him. Oh, look, the 2 little ghosts that Lucas brought are fighting. Tisk 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 tisk, look good. The Marines nearby applauded. It's just 2 brats fighting, it's not a big problem. After dozens of minutes, Lucas and Garp, who had done push-ups, had a barbecue together and sat on the beach, watching the 2 exhausted little ghosts punch and kick me. Garp Vice Admiral, your grandson's fist doesn't work. Lucas commented on Luffy with a grin. Hey, your brother Sanji's feet are not strong enough. Garp clenched his fists to cheer for Luffy. When Lucas adopted Sanji, he asked Sanji to recognize him as his brother. After all, he doesn't even have a girlfriend, and it feels weird to adopt a son. I said, brat, what do you do with that devil fruit? Garp looked at him curiously. I planned to give it to Luffy at first, but this guy even said that he was going to be a pirate, so I planned to sell it. Lucas looked at Garp with a grin. Advertisement. Very good, I think Luffy doesn't need to eat devil fruit. Garp nodded. Boom. Sanji and Luffy fell down at the same time, lying on the beach, panting, they couldn't move. The most annoying thing is that the 2 bastards next to him, one is Sanji's eldest brother, and the other is Luffy's grandfather, they seem to be very lively. Luffy and Sanji looked at each other, they suddenly wanted to reconcile now, and go and beat the 2 guys. Unfortunately, none of them can be beaten. Look at it, it's a pirate ship. A seaman stood up, gnawing meat, and pointed to several pirate ships that appeared on the sea. Lucas stopped looking at the 2 little ghosts, ran forward, took the binoculars, and looked over. The other Marines on the side ate the meat in a hurry, after all, behind them is the Marine hero Garp. Even if Garp Vice Admiral does not take action, this Lucas can kill some of the pirates in East Blue alone. The huge sailboat with the Black Panther-shaped bow was followed by several pirate boats towards this island. Lucas looked at the flag of the main ship. There was an hourglass on each side of the skull. It's Deli Donald Sabaru, Pirate Creed's ship. Lucas recognized the pirate ship. Before coming to East Blue, he did his homework in advance and requested a copy of all the information about the pirate group in East Blue. Of course, it's just a rough picture of the pirate group. Pirate Creed, now is not the biggest East Blue pirate with 5,000 people in the future. It is understood that a while ago, Krieg betrayed his pirate captain, killed the captain, and brought all the pirates under his command. Then he attacked the warship disguised as a seaman. Lucas can understand the previous incident, but a pirate joins the marine team. What do some bastards in East Blue do? Putting down the binoculars, Lucas picked up his knife and rushed directly to the Krieg pirate ship on the moonwalk. Aboard the Delhi Donald Sabaru. Captain. Then, isn't that Garp? Baloo held his binoculars and looked at Marine sitting on the beach in the distance. Retreat now, Krieg ordered. They are here to store their treasures today, and every pirate group basically has its own treasure storage location. In order to prevent the looted treasure from being snatched by the enemy, they found this deserted island. Every time they looted, they would hide their money on this island. But by coincidence, Garp Vice Admiral passed by here to rest. Hey, that guy is stepping on the air to chase him. Baru pointed at the person in the air in surprise. Advertisement. Keep running and shoot me at the same time. Krieg said. He was about to shoot into the sky. Stop everybody, I'm here to ask about things, and I won't leave to catch you after I ask. Lucas smirked. Oh, Krieg unexpectedly looked up at each other. He didn't expect the marine hero to have this kind of stuff around him. Ask. Krieg nodded. Is there a guy on your boat with a straight face and a dark face called Akin? Lucas looked down at the pirates. At the same time, his eyes kept scanning the pirates on the deck. In the information of the Krieg pirates, he has not found the guy named Akin. No, you go. Krieg waved his hand and looked at each other warily. No. Lucas looked through the pirate ship and confirmed that he did not see it. Then Ah Jin hasn't been a pirate yet. Lucas understood. Draw a knife. The quantity, power, and speed are all increased by 20 times, and at the same time, a 20 times increase in volume is added to the chopper wave. Lucas slashed down, and 20 large slashing waves quickly impacted the pirate ship. Damn it, Krieg whispered badly, and quickly picked up the battle. The 20 large slashing waves were all directed at him on the main ship. Krieg can't hide it at all. Boom. Krieg was hit by chopping waves, and 20 chopping waves pierced the entire ship from top to bottom. Krieg himself was shot into the sea and was seriously injured. The main ship plunged into the sea and sank quickly. Lucas stepped on the moonwalk and looked at the other pirate ships. Another 20 chopping waves fell. One after another pirate ship was sunk by him. Exerting the ability to increase with all his strength, he also has the combat power to sink the pirate ship. Lucas continued on the moonwalk, stopping over the wreck of the pirate ship. Seeing Krieg vomiting blood on the wreck of the Shanghai pirate ship, Lucas could only say that this guy was wearing too much punch. But Krieg's men, Baloo and others, sank into the sea. After falling down, stepping on the wreck of the pirate ship, Lucas walked towards Krieg. Ahem. Krieg stood up, the armor on his shoulders turned up, revealing his weapon. Chapter 99. Lucas. Luffy, your grandpa doesn't want you anymore. Seeking recommendation. Seeking investment. Seeking monthly pass. Advertisement. As soon as Krieg was about to use his weapon, the person in front of him disappeared. Disappeared. What a joke. Krieg hurriedly looked around for the marine. Hey, what are you looking for? Lucas stood behind Krieg and patted him on the shoulder. Hole. Krieg grabbed the big gun and shot it back. Lucas disappeared before Krieg's eyes again. There is no need for an increase at all, and now he can play around with Krieg just by shaving. Hey, brat, don't play anymore, shouted Garp on the shore. Oh, Lucas answered, piercing Krieg's heart with a knife. No, impossible. Open black lens bracket amplification penetration 20 times. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket amplification hardness 20 times. Close black lens bracket. Under the multiplier. Wearing armor, still piercing you. Lucas confirmed that Krieg was dead and kicked the opponent into the sea. Krieg in his armor continued to sink into the deep ocean. Lucas walked on the moonwalk to the beach. Brother Lucas, you are amazing. Sanji looked at Lucas admiringly, but he could see clearly with the telescope. Lucas single-handedly dealt with the Krieg pirates, until the end, Krieg played around. The most handsome thing is that big brother Lucas stabbed Krieg's steel armor with a single knife. Sanji adores Lucas's thighs more and more. If he can do this kind of thing, Lucas should already be regarded as the rumored great swordsman, right? Lucas was just about to call Garp Vice Admiral, only to find that the other party had already fallen asleep on the beach, basking in the sun. After 1 hour. Snake den somewhere on a desert island. Lucas put the knife away, he had cut 5 times in a row just now, and used 5 times the quantity increase. A total of 100 slashes were executed before all the snakes in the nest were hacked to death. Entering the snake den and kicking away the densely dense snake bodies on the ground, Lucas took the marines with torches and walked into the depths of the cave. After a while, they came out carrying several boxes. The marines opened the boxes, and what caught their eye was a box by box of Bailey, which was so hard to move. Lucas and the marines removed all the boxes together. These are stolen goods. Advertisement. As for how to deal with it. If you don't care about Garp Vice Admiral, you will collect it personally. At sea, the Dog's Head warship continued to sail. It is not accidental that Lucas found the treasure chest on the deserted island. This is a deserted island. Krieg and the others were clearly heading towards this island. I didn't come here to take a break, just to get the treasure, or to get the money from the treasure land. It was easy to search the island, so he found 3 chests of money. Sitting by the treasure chest, Lucas was full of people. On his left is Sanji, on his right. Hey, where's the Luffy? Lucas looked at the empty right. It was here just now. Leave him alone. Lucas waved his hand, took a handful of Bailey, and put it in Sanji's hand. This is your pocket money. Thank you, brother Lucas. Sanji thanked him obediently. This is your transportation fee. Lucas gave each of the other Marines a handful. Oh, Lucas, you are really good. Other Marines praised. Garp Vice Admiral on the side didn't take care of these guys, so he didn't see him. Can't he step up to the world government and give the money to the world government? Hee hee. Lucas looked at the 3 boxes with a lot of Bailey left, and hugged them, the rest is mine. Huh, everyone looked at the 3 boxes he was holding, shameless, right? This product was really taught by Sakazuki. Ah, as expected, you have to drink some water to be comfortable after eating. Luffy took a bottle of water and walked out with a drink. As night fell, Lucas returned to his room. He has 2 beds on the left and right, sleeping Sanji and Luffy respectively. Seeing the 2 little ghosts kick open the quilt, Lucas stepped forward helplessly. Put the quilt back on Sanji, then walked to Luffy and put the quilt on him. Because of the evil taste, Lucas squeezed Luffy's nose. Squeak. As Lucas pinched Luffy's nose stretched. Quote exclamation mark quote. Lucas grabbed his head with both hands, said badly, ran to the table, opened the wooden box, devil fruit was gone. He was going to tease Luffy with the fruit. As a result, the guy was hungry and ate the whole devil fruit. Lucas finally understood what Luffy had eaten before. It was so uncomfortable to eat it all, and I didn't complain about it. Devil. The second day. Advertisement. On the deck. Lucas was exercising, and Sanji went to the kitchen to learn how to cook with the chef. And Luffy. Being beaten. You idiot. Who told you to steal devil fruit? Garp punched Luffy in the head, furious. Originally, according to his idea, he would train Luffy to be the strongest marine, and Garp could use a pair of Iron Fist Hammer pirates to be afraid of the wind. Then his grandson will do too. But this idiot grandson ate devil fruit and became a duck. Isn't this a very obvious weakness for yourself? It hurts. Luffy clutched his head. Give me push-ups. Garp patted Luffy's head, and Luffy did the push-ups honestly. Grandpa, where are we going next? Luffy asked curiously. Cross the comm belt and return to Marine Headquarters Marineford. Garp said. Grandpa, I heard Big Brother Lucas say that the pirates all entered the Grand Line through the Upside-Down Mountain. Let's pass there too, Luffy suggested. No, a waste of time. Garp punched Luffy in the head, not having a good air. Lucas looked at the pair of live treasure grandsons, sat down, took the fruit that Sanji handed over, and watched the excitement. A few days later. Grand Line, Marine Headquarters Marineford. Ha ha ha. Lucas, you will take care of this B************** D Luffy. I'm leaving now. Garp clasped his nose and ran for Luffy, leaving behind a cloud of smoke, leaving behind a dazed Luffy. Is this really something that my grandfather can do? Let's go. Lucas patted Sanji's head, and the two walked forward together, leaving Luffy alone behind in a daze. Don't look, your grandfather doesn't want you anymore, let's go with us. Lucas grabbed Luffy's back collar and carried Luffy home. In Sakazuki's yard, Sakazuki took off his shirt and revealed his tattoo, with a sword on his right chest and rose and sakura flowers on his left chest to elbow. Wow. Sakazuki poured a basin of cold water on her body, which was comfortable. The courtyard door opened, and Sakazuki looked at the 2 little kids that Lucas had brought back. What's the situation? This kid just went out to sea with Garp Vice Admiral's boat and brought back the 2 kids. What did he do? Oh, this is the kid I picked up from outside. This is the grandson of Garp Vice Admiral. Lucas patted the heads of the 2 little ghosts and introduced. Sign up to change the status, ask for a wave of recommendations, monthly tickets, and rewards. Chapter 1010. Chase Doflamingo. For a reward. For a collection. For an investment. Advertisement. Grandson Garp. Sakazuki crouched in front of Luffy. Yes, Garp Vice Admiral said, Luffy, this kid was clamoring to be a pirate all day long, so he brought him to our house and received a severe beating from you. Lucas ignored the boy Luffy's gaze. Said to Sakazuki with a smile. Ha ha ha, such a stinky boy, we must correct the bad thoughts. Sakazuki carried Luffy into the house with his big hands. Let go of me, you fierce fellow. Luffy slapped Sakazuki's hand. In the following days, Luffy and Sanji experienced some devilish training. Okay, so tired. Sanji was tired from training. Lucas slapped Sanji with his hands and used his new skills to share the increase with others. Amplification physical strength 20 times. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket amplification energy 20 times. Close black lens bracket. After these 2 sets were smashed, Sanji didn't shout tired, and ran past Luffy in one breath, leaving behind a cloud of smoke. So tired, Luffy lay down on the ground listlessly. Run for me. Lucas kicked Luffy's A and Luffy took off. When the training is over, it is often a dual thought class between Sakazuki and Lucas. No way, there is a malignant tumor in the 2 children, yelling, hello pirate. All day, and he must correct his thinking. Lucas said, in charge of education, Sakazuki sat aside, as long as Luffy dared to talk back, he would shoot with a slap. After a month, the night was getting dark. In the room, Sakazuki was lying on the bed and fell asleep. Luffy hugged his feet and said in a dream, meet. On the roof, Lucas looked at the stars, and tomorrow he will board the warship again. Although his military rank at this time has jumped to warrant officer, he is still rubbing the ship. Garp Vice Admiral rubbed Sengoku Senbei for a month and didn't intend to go to sea. Sakazuki taught the two little ghosts that they were addicted, especially Luffy. For Garp's grandson, he was very concerned. Feet. My heart's Luffy takes off every day. Lucas has discussed with Vice Admiral Crane, and will board her ship tomorrow. I envy you, brother Lucas. I heard that the Crane Vice Admiral is full of beauties. Sanji sat beside him with her legs in her arms, looking at him with watery eyes, hoping that Lucas could bring herself. You want to go to sea too? Lucas looked at Sanji. Advertisement. Yeah, Sanji nodded vigorously. No way. Lucas grimaced at Sanji. In the early morning of the next day, a cool breeze hit the harbor and Lucas walked towards the ship of Vice Admiral Crane. Oh, all the boys Sakazuki picked up are so tall. The Crane Vice Admiral standing in the harbor, wearing a cloak, looked at Lucas. Lucas is 17 years old this year and he is 3.3 meters tall, which is a normal height in pirate world. Following the Crane Vice Admiral got on the boat, and the Vice Admiral Crane was full of beauties. Seeing Lucas who followed Vice Admiral behind the crane, they surrounded him one by one. There were no men on their boats, and the female marine watched Lucas secretly talking one by one. Leave, go to North Blue to hunt down Doflamingo. After Vice Admiral said, the female marines went to their place to work. A female marine who wore a seaman hat, a cloak, a yellow plaid, a gun on her back, and a sword on her waist came over and looked at Lucas. Oh, I remember. When I was a kid in Marineford, I often saw a guy kicked by Sakazuki Vice Admiral. Is that you? Alexia recognized him when he stood in front of Lucas. Ahem. Lucas turned his head quickly and ignored the woman. He also recognized each other. Alexia, this beautiful woman with yellow curly hair, Marine, her father was originally Naval Headquarters Commodore, but when Golden Lion trespassed on Marineford, he was killed by Golden Lion. Lucas was not embarrassed to look at each other, because every time Lucas sat on the street to rest when he was young, it was Alexia who came over, wiped his wounds, and chatted with him. He often lied to Alexia's snacks. Hey, why turn your head? Get on our boat. Are you ill-intentioned? Just say it. Alexia grabbed Lucas's arm and laughed. Ahem. The crane on the side, Vice Admiral, coughed slightly. It's not a kid anymore, pay attention. ... North Blue. A warship sailed slowly. Lucas was sitting on the observation deck. Since he came, the female seaman in charge of the observation deck on the Vice Admiral ship has also been relieved a lot. Relying on boosting his energy, Lucas also persevered. From returning to Marineford until now, his fruit has been developed to a 22-fold increase. Both positive and negative are 22 times increase. Ahahaha. Lucas withdrew from his energy boost, and fell asleep with breath as he watched the rising sun. Advertisement. Noon. The restaurant on the warship. Lucas was holding a large bowl of food and frantically spitting rice into his mouth. Eat slowly, no one will grab it. Alexia picked up a fish and placed it in Lucas's bowl. Fish is still the best. Lucas bit the grilled fish and swallowed it in his mouth, leaving a tail on his mouth. Crane Vice Admiral smiled and looked at Lucas's food. Still young people can eat. According to intelligence, Doflamingo and the others are now replenishing supplies on an island, and we will go to that island this afternoon, eat more, and be ready for battle. Vice Admiral picked a fish and placed it in Lucas's bowl. Eat more, eat more. The other female marines learned how to fish in Lucas's bowl. This was the only man on their boat, and she was still single, like a living treasure. Lucas gobbled it up and ate it up in no time. ... Somewhere on an island, a harbor outside the town. Karazhan, get on the boat, we are being watched by Marine again, it's the crane from the same department. Doflamingo stood on the boat and waved to Karazhan. ... Doflamingo's pirate ship sailed away from the island, and behind it, a warship rushed in, and shells continued to bombard Doflamingo's ship. Corazon, where is Corazon? Doflamingo looked at the family. Where did his brother go? Young master, I found this on the Corazon hammock. Senor Peak handed a piece of paper to Doflamingo. What? Doflamingo looked at Corazon's handwriting. What the hell was this kid doing? Boom boom boom. One after another, shells were fired at Doflamingo's ship, and two of the cannon shells were extremely obvious. Open black lens bracket amplification volume 22 times. Close black lens bracket. Amplification rate of fire 22 times. Close black lens bracket. Lucas stood behind the cannon and patted the two cannons beside him with both hands. The shells shot out by the cannon slowly grew in the air and the speed became faster and faster. The shell fell on the sea not far from the Doflamingo ship, shaking the pirate ship violently. Momo fruit. No, that guy Wald is still in the underwater prison. Torapal beside Doflamingo exclaimed. Chapter 11:11. Lucas's terrorist cannonball. Ask a monthly pass. A collection. A recommendation. Advertisement. Boom. Two huge shells quickly hit Doflamingo's ship accurately. Wearing a fur-brimmed hat and two facial lines on his face, Diamante jumped up and drew a knife. Diamante raised the long sword in his hand and swung out a sword, igniting a wave of powerful sword energy, like cutting tofu, splitting the cannonball into two. On the warship, Lucas watched Diamante, who used the half-moon funeral technique, cut his enhanced shells to pieces. His hand was on the cannon. A cannon shot out. Open black lens bracket amplification volume 22 times. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket amplification hardness 22 times. Close black lens bracket. The cannonball fired accurately at Doflamingo's ship. Diamante sneered and jumped up, and cast it again for half a month to die. Lucas stood on the edge of the warship, watching Diamante respond. He knew that the half-moon ruining trick, the sword energy that Diamante wielded, was actually the same concept as chopping wave. Diamante raised his long sword and swung out his sword energy. The wave of sword energy collided with the huge artillery shell. What was once embarrassing was that the cannonball directly knocked sword chi away. Although sword chi failed to destroy the 22 times the hardness of the cannonball, it still succeeded in deviating the orbit of the cannonball. Crane Vice Admiral's ship followed Doflamingo's ship closely. And Doflamingo also taboo Vice Admiral, Ishin just wants to get rid of the warship. Diamante and Lucas in the stern played a game of baseball. Lucas fired a hardened cannonball, and Diamante swung a sword to deflect the cannonball from the trajectory. Lucas suddenly drew his knife and stood on the bow, using the booster. A chopping wave swayed. The chopping wave flying in the air suddenly turned into 22 huge slashes, the speed increased sharply, the power increased, and it slashed towards Doflamingo's ship. Doflamingo came directly in front of Diamante, stepped on the railing and swung out thousands of transparent silk threads to form a huge spider web, directly blocking 22 huge chopping waves. Not bad. Lucas looked at Doflamingo. Putting away the knife, Lucas continued to the cannon. With Vice Admiral by his side, he can safely add to Doflamingo. Quickly get rid of them. Doflamingo stared at Vice Admiral with an ugly expression. Advertisement. That brat with the ability to increase, he didn't take it seriously, just to boo the ability of Vice Admiral. It is said that the washing fruit of Vice Admiral can not only wash people or things, making people unable to move freely, but also has the ability to wash the soul and clean the evil heart. Lucas put his hand on the cannon. You can only use this trick. Lucas said. Oh, what trick? Alexia smiled at him. Oh, Vice Admiral looked at Lucas curiously. Open black lens bracket amplification quantity volume speed explosion range 22 times. Close black lens bracket. Using 4 boosts at the same time, the most important thing is the addition of the explosion range. Boom. The shells were shot out, and in midair, the shells suddenly split into 22 huge shells and rushed towards the pirate ship. In fact, Lucas's ability to increase is a little bit the same as Wald's Momo fruit ability. That is, after the shells are shot out, there will be a delay. During the delay of a few seconds, the shells have already fired out of the barrel, and then they start to increase. It's endless. Doflamingo glared at Lucas, but he was greeted with grimace. Doflamingo used the string fruit ability to create a spider's web wall, blocking 22 huge cannonballs. Boom boom boom. What? The cannonball exploded instantly, and the large explosion range made the impact of the cannonball extremely powerful. The entire pirate ship was about to capsize into the sea after being shaken by a huge shock wave. Doflamingo continuously connected the thin lines to the dark clouds in the sky, and the other end to the hull, manipulating countless thin lines, which stabilized the ship that was about to capsize. This B******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* artillery shells came on the opposite side. Everyone on the Doflamingo ship made various tricks and hurriedly blocked 22 huge artillery shells in the air. One by one glared at the hateful marine who was opposite. They didn't dare to destroy these shells at all, only dared to attack and block them from a distance. Crane Vice Admiral's ship chased all the way, and Lucas's S-split shells kept firing at Doflamingo's ship. Wave after wave, one cannonball splits into 22 cannonballs, and a female marine keeps loading him behind Lucas. And Doflamingo and his men had just stopped a batch of shells, and immediately another 22 huge shells came. Advertisement. The current Donquixote family eliminated Luo, who was taken away by Rocinante. As well as eliminating Virgo, who was mixed into the marine team. All their combat effective cadres are all capable people. Moreover, Lucas's split shells are very disgusting, with a large number, a large explosion range, and a fast rate of fire. As long as one misses one, their ship will capsize like duckweed. Boom. The shell blasted on the sea near the ship, and the huge shock wave shook the entire ship violently. Young master, save me. Chaula was thrown away and fell to the sea. Doflamingo turned his head and looked. Just as he was about to tie Korra with a thin thread, another huge shell was missed by them and fell on the sea next to the ship. The entire ship shook violently, and when Doflamingo used countless thin lines to tie up the dark clouds and stabilize the ship, Korra had disappeared and fell into the sea. No, Dover, Gladius is gone, and he's in the water too. Diamante shouted with an ugly face. The shells under the increased marine's ability were extremely strange, and the explosion range was very large. If the ship hadn't been tied to the dark clouds in the sky with countless lines just now, they would have capsized the ship several times. Several people in Doflamingo listened to the cry for help in the sea, watching the warships that came after them, and the waves of split shells. Go. Doflamingo gritted his teeth and stared at the marine on the opposite side, ordering to evacuate. There was a Crane Vice Admiral on that warship, and now there was another terrifying guy who used cannons. They can only abandon the two and escape. After half a day, Lucas came to the place where the warship held the prisoner, where two of Doflamingo's men were held. A man named Korra, a man of artistic fruit ability, a cadre of the Donquixote family, wears a pair of seastone handcuffs on both hands. In the other cell, Gladius, a person with the ability to explode fruits, a cadre of the Donquixote family, was held in a pair of seastone handcuffs. Doflamingo gave up on you, what do you think? Lucas sat on the chair, tilted his legs, and looked at the two. You are talking nonsense, the young master is not giving up on us. Yora raised her head and glared at Lucas. Sooner or later, young master will come back and kill you and save us. Gladius glared at Lucas. It was the marine in front of him that almost wiped them out. I was also born in North Blue. When I was young, I was almost killed by a pirate, so I still know some people's notoriety. Lucas smiled at the two. So what? Gladius said. Lucas pointed to the two of them. You are familiar with each other, but it seems that there is no one of you on the boat today. Chapter 12:12. Crane Vice Admiral. A spy appears on our side. Ask a monthly pass. A recommendation. A collection. Advertisement. Wah. Just as Gladius was about to speak, he saw Yora winking at him. Then he shut up and was almost tempted. Sure enough, I guessed right, it was you guys, ha ha ha. Lucas stood up, applauded and looked at Gladius. His words caused this guy's reaction. Although Gladius shut up in time, Lucas still saw him panicked. At the beginning, North Blue was notoriously a scum group. I think who was there in the beginning. Lucas talked while observing their faces. The snotty man with sunglasses bent over, the taller guy who can turn any object even steel into a light shape, and the guy who speaks like ***** and makes people laugh, and a guy with a total face. It's the guy with the meter spoon. These people were North Blue's notorious scum group at the beginning. Lucas said, watching the reaction of the two, and smiled. A long time ago, a unique celestial dragons gave up their identity and settled on an island in North Blue. The locals who hate celestial dragons also hate the family. The family killed by a kind but stupid father who was hopelessly stupid has gone through a lot of suffering. The mother finally died of illness. The child who was the older brother killed his father with resentment, hoping to return to Mariajoy, but was rejected. After that, the four people who fell in love with that child, Conqueror's Hockey, gave devil fruit to that child and formed the Donquixote family together with the other person. After that, they kept recruiting soldiers. The more Lucas said about Yora and Gladius, the more frightened. As a North Blue person, am I right? Lucas smiled at the two. So what? How can you know our information in more detail? It's not that we can't catch our young master, ha ha ha. Shaola laughed. The kid said for a long time, what's the use? I saw the big nose of Toripal, I also saw the sound freak of Pika, and I saw the guy dressed as savages in Diamante, the first four cadres with fleshy faces as Virgo dead. Lucas just finished. Gladius scolded. You're just dead, Virgo beats you all alone, you be *******************. Gladius stopped looking at Yora, who was looking ugly. With cold sweat on his face, Gladius looked up at this marine. Originally said for a long time, this B************* D is making this statement. Happiness. Outside the door, Vice Admiral applauded and walked in, looking at Gladius with a panic expression on his face. Advertisement. It turns out that the fourth of the four cadres is called Virgo. Vice Admiral took out the phone worm from behind, and on the other side of the phone worm was Sengoku, who was sitting at the headquarters of Marineford Marine. Where did Virgo go? Vice Admiral looked at the two. What are you talking about? We don't understand. Yora turned her head. We won't tell you. Gladius glared at Lucas and Vice Admiral. Crane Vice Admiral, it can only be handed to you now. Lucas shrugged and walked out. After a few minutes, it was washed. Shaola was washed by the power of Vice Admiral, and hung on the wall like clothes that had just been dried. I feel a lot brighter. Gladius stared at Vice Admiral with the stars. Can you tell me where Virgo has gone? Vice Admiral looked at the two. We don't want to betray our companions, Yora said. But Virgo is a bad guy. He Vice Admiral said, washing the two souls again. Virgo is undercover on the Marine team, Gladius said. Here, Vice Admiral, let him reform and renew it, Shaola said. Lucas stood outside the door and shook his head helplessly as he listened to the words of the two people after Vice Admiral had washed the fruits. What kind of language skills are not worth mentioning under the fruit of Vice Admiral? He makes a precise idiom, and the rest depends on Vice Admiral. I heard that there is no Sengoku, quickly arrest Virgo. The other party is the highest cadre of the Donquixote family. We must send the most capable person to arrest him. The Crane Vice Admiral walked out with the phone worm. Understood. Sengoku said solemnly. The Marine team was infiltrated by the highest cadre of the Donquixote family. Speaking out, it's just a slap in the face. Hanging up, Vice Admiral looked at Lucas at the door. Boy, you did a great job this time. You almost destroyed the Donquixote family, grabbed the two cadres, and then set out Virgo, the pirate who infiltrated the Marine team. Crane Vice Admiral looked at Lucas with satisfaction. She is now I like this kid more and more. He is smart and knows how to interrogate pirates. The skills developed by the fruit ability make him both an excellent swordsman and a terrifying gunner, that is. Advertisement. This is a bit too bad. Even with a 50% hit rate, the Donquixote family will not run away. However, Lucas has only managed to develop the increase to 22 times. If it can be even higher in the future, Lucas's diverse increase is simply for combat. It's nothing, mainly because there is Vice Admiral, or I would have been eliminated by the Donquixote family. Lucas said modestly. In fact, it is true. Without Vice Admiral, Lucas was killed by the furious Donquixote family. Doflamingo runs mainly because he is afraid of Vice Admiral. Let's go back this time, your kid is going to be promoted again. I really want to keep you on my boat. Vice Admiral went to the deck. I also want to stay on this ship, Lucas said with a grin. A boat of heroic beauty, Marine, who doesn't want to stay? It's a pity, we are all women on board, you can't stay here forever, or you'll have to sleep on the observation deck all the time. Alexia patted Lucas on the shoulder and laughed. Hey, because you are still my friend since childhood, do you have the heart to sleep in the observation deck? Lucas stared at her in an aura. My bed is not big enough, Alexia made a face at Lucas and ran away. Base. Lucas's face flushed instantly, who is this? Hey, Vice Admiral covered his ears and didn't want to listen to their slurs, words. Is it because she is old? The warship sailed slowly, and Lucas began his training on the warship. On the Crane Vice Admiral ship, it was actually very boring. Although there are many beautiful female Marines, Crane Vice Admiral is on the side. It's okay to occasionally laugh with female Marines. It's impossible to really think of it as a traveler Tenton. With the boundless sea and the sea breeze blowing in his hair, Lucas develops fruits in addition to training. 333, 333, 333. Alexia sat aside and counted Lucas's push-ups. Lucas stopped, stood up, and stared at Alexia. He has made 500. This guy is still counting the 333rd. Wow, don't do it if you make 500. Alexia asked. Quote. Lucas was silent. Good fellow, counting 333 on his mouth, 500 in his heart, Ishan's second-hand genius. I am afraid of being blocked, so I added a. Chapter 1313. Virgo was arrested. For collection. For monthly pass. For reward. Advertisement. Grand Line, Marineford, Sengoku office. Hanging up with Lieutenant Colonel Rocinante, Sengoku sighed, grabbed the senbei on the side and chewed it. He sent Lieutenant Colonel Rocinante to lurch beside Doflamingo for 3 purposes. One is to let Rocinante drive away the imps adopted by Doflamingo and reduce the number of subordinates trained by Doflamingo. The second is that Rocinante can tell Sengoku the real-time location of Doflamingo, so that Vice Admiral can hunt down Doflamingo in time. The last and most important thing is what to do with Dressrosa after Rocinante stops Doflamingo. It is a pity that 3 children finally did not leave Doflamingo despite Rocinante's bullying. Rocinante also left Doflamingo and went to see a doctor for a child. Fortunately, the Lucas kid from Sakazuki's family brought him good news. Lucas caught Doflamingo's men. A top cadre was also circumscribed, and Vice Admiral asked about the spy. Without knocking on the wooden door of the office, Garp and Sakazuki walked in one after another. Hey, what are you looking for? Garp clasped his nose and reached out and grabbed a handful of Sengoku's senbei. Quote. Sengoku pushed the plate and gave the senbei to Garp. Sakazuki and Garp sat aside. When a guy named Virgo comes over to see me, he is going to be transferred. You can just subdue him. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Lucas and Crane Vice Admiral asked from Doflamingo's men that the guy used to be one of the highest cadres of the Donquixote family. Sengoku finished speaking in one breath, took out a bag of senbei from the drawer, tore it open and ate it. Ha ha ha, does Lucas have one? Garp patted Sakazuki's shoulder with a smile, and handed him senbei. Don't eat or eat. Sakazuki waved his hand quickly, but when he learned that Lucas had done more, his stern face also smiled. Sakazuki, you learn more about Lucas, don't catch the pirates either to fight or kill, there is still a way to get information. Sengoku pointed his head and smiled. Sakazuki was speechless. Is it to praise him for his good education, or to teach him to be inferior to younger generations? Sengoku Admiral, the person you mentioned before for transfer is here. 2 figures were reflected on the door. Sengoku glanced at Garp, who was not going, and Garp shut up quickly. Let him in. Sengoku put down the senbei bag. The 3 looked at the incoming Marine. It's you, I've heard your comment. Joining Marine has performed well for a year. I hope to transfer to G5, right? Sengoku looked at the fried egg on Virgo's face. Advertisement. This guy is really arrogant, either with meat or fried eggs on his face. But I want to say first, Garp Vice Admiral is interested in you. As for whether to transfer to G5 or Garp Vice Admiral, you can tell him, rest assured, we respect your ideas. Sengoku said, aside Garp's dumbfounded, isn't Sakazuki going to subdue Virgo? Who offends him by eating a senbei? Wow. Garp put the senbei back on the plate and walked to Virgo. Hello, Garp Vice Admiral. Virgo hurriedly saluted Garp. Well, hello. Garp took a tissue and pinched the fried egg on Virgo's face. Virgo didn't dare to move, letting him take down the omelet. You have eaten, don't waste food. Garp smiled at each other. Yes. Wilgo lowered his head and bit the fried egg. Boom. Garp covered his armed color with his right fist, and slammed Virgo's head with a punch. Wilgo quickly covered his armed color, but under the iron fist of the marine hero, he was blown away with a punch. Virgo smashed through the wall of Sengoku's office, and then Luffy went out and knocked down the tree. Garp rushed out, came to Virgo, and punched again. Boom. Wilgo's whole body was dented by Garp. The ground cracked, and Garp didn't feel enough to relieve his breath, so he punched again. Virgo's armed color is very strong, enough to harden his whole body armor color, but his opponent is Garp. The whole person was hammered and unable to move. You pirate, you dare to get into the marine team, scum. Garp stared at Virgo angrily, his fists rattled. He hates 2 things most. One is that his good grandson almost went astray, and the other is that the pirates got into Marine's team. North Blue. An island in the harbor. As soon as Doflamingo's ship docked, he saw the warship slowly appearing on the sea in the distance. Advertisement. Damn it, hurry up and give up the original route. Doflamingo patted the railing hard. Even though he didn't want to believe that Yora and Gladius betrayed them, the facts were before him. The two were caught by Marine, and Marine knew where they were going next. By the time Crane Vice Admiral's warship arrived at the harbor, Doflamingo's ship had already slipped away. In the following days, it was useless for Vice Admiral to ask Doflamingo's next destination from Korra and Gladius. Because the other party has already replaced the original route plan. On an island, Lucas was walking on the street market, and several female Marines talked and laughed not far from him. They have been looking for Doflamingo in North Blue for 2 months since the last pursuit. But unfortunately, Doflamingo is still not found. As for Sengoku Admiral, there is no more news about Doflamingo. So instead of worrying, it's better to walk into the market and relax. Lucas is holding a handful of meat skewers in one hand, one bite on the left and one bite on the right. In the past 2 months, he continued to exercise and develop fruit abilities. Now he can increase to 26 times. Today is the first time to come out to play and relax. Go away. An angry roar attracted Lucas's sight. A bearded man kicked a girl down. The bearded man counted the small pile of money in his hand, and smirked. Give it back to us. That's the money we ate for a month. The long-haired girl with grass-green waves held a little girl in her arms and reached out to grab the money in the hands of the man in the black suit. What's your money? When it comes to my uncle, it is my uncle and my money. The bearded man pushed the girl with long green wavy hair away. He laughed. This little money is enough for me to drink a few times. Quote. However, selling you to human traffickers should get more money, ha ha ha. The man in the suit suddenly grabbed the girl. Lucas came to the middle of the two with a shaved one, and kicked the man's stomach. A small pile of money in the hands of the bearded man was scattered on the ground, and he flew out and hit the wall. The people around looked at the money on the ground and didn't dare to pick it up. Chapter 14:14. I dare to touch the sugar head. Seeking recommendation. Seeking investment. Seeking monthly pass. Advertisement. Lucas listened to the people around him and looked at the bearded man who was kicked into the air by him. It turned out that this guy was a local gangster who wandered around the town all day long, either stealing here or robbing there. A while ago, he threatened others with a dagger and accidentally stabbed a stall owner to death. But there is no marine base and no kingdom guards here. For this guy, ordinary people can only bear it. The sky is high and the emperor is far away, and marine warships rarely come to this remote island, which makes this guy more and more arrogant. Thorough inquiries, the female marines around Lucas also inquired back from other streets. Tell Lucas that it is indeed the case. Lucas rushed up, and the bearded man was kicked on the head as soon as he woke up. Scum. Boom. The bearded man fainted again. Hand the opponent to the female seaman, and he is going to the next island with marine base and throw this scum into prison. Are you okay? Lucas walked to the two girls, picked up the money, and handed it to them. Thank you. The long-haired girl with grass-green waves quickly accepted the money and thanked her. Thank you, brother. The little girl who was held in the arms of the green-haired girl thanked her. Nothing. Lucas waved his hand, just about to walk away, suddenly thought of something, and looked at the two of them. Is there anything else? The grass-green long-haired girl asked. You just said that the money is for 2 people's meals for 1 month. Lucas pointed to the small stack of banknotes in the girl's hand. In his opinion, this little money is not even enough for his meal. How much savings do the 2 girls need to eat for a month? Yes, not enough to eat. Hungry. The little girl pouted aggrievedly, tears almost streaming out. Did you encounter difficulties? Lucas said gently. We have no home or work, so begging everywhere. The little girl pouted and cried. Sugar, don't cry. Be good, don't cry. The grass-green long-haired girl comforted the little girl, and she almost couldn't help crying. Lucas recognized 2 girls. Advertisement. A girl who looked a little older than him was Monet. And the other girl who cried out of grievance was younger. Lucas judged, she was probably a little over 10 years old. Don't cry. Don't cry. I know how I can make you full in the future. Do you want to listen? Lucas looked at the sugar and quickly soothed. Can you be full? Sugar looked at Lucas. Tears stopped, eyes full of surprise. Monet also looked at him in surprise. Follow me as a marine, and pay back your salary after a while. Lucas smiled and rubbed Sugar's cute head. Hey, finally got it. Really? Granulated Sugar took Lucas's hand in surprise. Brother never lied to cute little guys. Lucas hooked his fingers and rubbed Sugar's little nose. Okay, we don't have to go hungry. Sugar jumped out of Monet's arms happily, glanced at Monet, and happily grabbed Lucas's hand. 4 months later, Lucas has been chasing Doflamingo with Vice Admiral for 6 months. In half a year, Lucas increased the fruit growth ability to 34 times. And Monet became a seaman, willing to stay by his side forever. The sugar is too small. Lucas asks the female marine on the boat to simply take Sugar for exercise occasionally. Sugar still pouted and said to him that day, brother deceives people, pay attention to food, pay, and pay. Then Lucas put a small basket of grapes into the sugar. Sugar hugged him happily and left with his salary. Amused the female marines on the boat for several days. Blue Brew. Crane Vice Admiral is contacted by Sengoku. 3 weeks later, Doflamingo will meet someone on Cayenne Island, and we will go to Cayenne Island and wait for the other person to appear. Crane Vice Admiral said. Advertisement. In addition, Doflamingo's target is on the island of Minan. We have warship surveillance outside the island. Besides, on Cayenne Island, there will be a warship standing by with us. Crane Vice Admiral gathered several subordinates and Lucas, and pointed to several islands on the map. Anything to ask? Vice Admiral looked at several people. I have one thing to ask, not so much as a question, as a reminder. Lucas raised his hand and said. Say. Vice Admiral looked at him. I have suffered for this child. In the past 6 months, although they have built a cabin on the observation deck, Lucas has slept in the cabin for half a year, which is very hard. The information Sengoku Admiral told us before can tell us exactly where Doflamingo is, even exaggerated to what he did. Lucas looked serious. But why has there been no information about Doflamingo in the past 6 months? Only now is there information. Lucas looked around and found that everyone looked like a circle. Quote. Lucas shrugged, and then said, suddenly half a year later, news about Doflamingo, so only one thing can be proved. The person who provided the information was killed. This is false information from Doflamingo. Alexia snapped back, looking at Lucas happily, and quickly praised me. Idiot. Lucas patted her head. Sengoku Admiral and the person who provided the information must have special contact information. Even if the other party gets the phone worm from that person, they don't know the number of the Sengoku Admiral phone worm. So the person who provided the information was okay, but he encountered something, such as being distrusted, and one person was sent to another place to perform a task. Doflamingo suddenly said that he was going to meet on Cayenne Island. He had already discovered the traitor, so he used the traitor's mouth to pass information to test us. He was too afraid of Vice Admiral, so he went to Cayenne Island. That's when he got to Minan Island. Lucas looked at Vice Admiral seriously, expecting the other party to change the plan. What you said is quite reasonable, but what if you infer it wrong? Vice Admiral looked at him carefully. It doesn't matter if it's wrong. Doflamingo's target is on Minan Island, we just wait for him. Lucas laughed. Aren't you stupid? We are waiting for him on Minan Island. Does he dare to come? Alexia glared at Lucas. I don't have enough IQ. Don't talk. Lucas glanced at her, and then at Crane Vice Admiral. It's very simple, just ask Marine who is on the surveillance ship to change the ship with us. We take the surveillance ship to Minan Island, and they go Cayenne Island. It would be nice if the main personnel of both sides did not show up. Lucas said. Doflamingo is afraid of the Crane Vice Admiral to his bones. When he sees the iconic ship, he will recognize the Crane Vice Admiral on Cayenne Island. Lucas concluded. Change the plan. Vice Admiral nodded, then blasted them out and contacted Sengoku. Chapter 15:15. Doflamingo. I surrounded you. Seeking collection. Seeking investment. Seeking monthly pass. Advertisement. The sky was densely covered with clouds, and snowflakes fell. A surveillance warship docked in a hidden corner of Minan Island. On the deck of the warship, there were naval patrols, and the same was true on the observation deck. On this ship are all male seamen. Inside the ship, in the meeting room, Crane Vice Admiral and Lucas are sitting here, quietly waiting for news. On the west-south side of Minan Island is Cayenne Island. The two warships were hidden in the archipelago far away from Cayenne Island, waiting for them. One of the warships rolled up its sails, revealing half of the word, Crane. Crane. The female Marines of Vice Admiral patrolled the deck. On the distant sea, a pirate ship turned around to Minan Island, while the female Marines were still patrolling. Doflamingo's pirate ship. This old woman wants to catch me. Doflamingo looked at the warship from a distance and laughed. My lovely brother. Doflamingo took a deep breath, and now only the people behind him are trustworthy. Go to Minan Island. Understood. Lucas put the microphone back on the phone worm's shell. Doflamingo turned the bow and will be there soon. Lucas smiled and looked at Vice Admiral. Before deciding to change ships, Vice Admiral made up an omission by Lucas. It's okay to change the ship, but Crane Vice Admiral's ship only replaces her and Lucas, and the monitoring ship changes the officer to Crane's ship. Both are best to stay in the conference room, not to show up, and all the Marines do not change. Then I should also go to the other side of the island. The Crane Vice Admiral waited for my contact, and 10 minutes after Doflamingo and others landed on the island, it was time for the bombardment of the Numantia Flamingo. Walking out of the meeting room, Lucas changed his marine attire and put on casual clothes. Leave the surveillance warship directly. Following the moonwalk, Lucas came to Minan Island. The island was white, and Lucas stepped on the snow and ran to the other side of the island. Time is running out. He must hurry to the other side of the island. Advertisement. Because I was afraid of being spotted by Doflamingo, there was only one warship under surveillance. The ship was hidden in the corner, and only the islands on the side of the hull could be observed. And Doflamingo is likely to land on the other side of the island, so he needs to go to the other side to provide news for Vice Admiral. Lucas tried his best to perfect Minan Island's plan to round up Doflamingo, and he tried to prevent Doflamingo from escaping. The other side of the island. In a cave some distance from the coast. Lucas turned on seeing and hearing, sensing the ship slowly appearing on the sea, and sure enough, Doflamingo landed from here. Doflamingo's boat docked on the shore, looking at the pirates rushing towards them, sneered and waved, one by one thin thread parasitic on several pirates, watching them fight together. Lucas looked at the corpse lying on the shore through the cave, picked up the phone worm, dialed the phone worm of Crane Vice Admiral, and hung up with just one word. This was stated in advance. He contacted Vice Admiral, which represented Doflamingo on his side, and when Vice Admiral contacted him, he represented Doflamingo on the other side. With the microphone in his hand, Doflamingo dialed Rocinante's phone worm. Baby 5 carried the phone worm and walked in front of Doflamingo. Torapal, Pika, Diamante and others walked by his side to help him clean up the pirates. After contacting for a while, Doflamingo did not call. My stupid brother, I will find you. Lucas kept running on the snow, but the Vice Admiral hadn't arrived yet. He was alone in front of the Donquixote family and was beaten by a group. Might as well do something meaningful. Passing the temporary residence of Dias Barrales all the way to the foot of the mountain, opening up the perception of seeing, hearing and color, Lucas moved in one direction. After running a long way, Lucas saw Rocinante and Trafalgar Law behind a broken wall in the distance. Rocinante handed something to Luo. Seeing Lucas running in the distance, I was dumbfounded. Lucas. Rocinante looked at Lucas, who came to them in surprise. You. Luo looked at Lucas puzzledly. Rocinante suddenly disappeared from Doflamingo and the others when he was 8 years old, and was later adopted by Sengoku. It was not until 14 years later that he returned to Doflamingo, and it happened that the year Lucas was picked up by Marineford, it happened to be 10 years after Rocinante left Doflamingo. Rocinante was still with Sengoku. Before he left, Rocinante had seen Lucas several times. As for why you can recognize Lucas who grew up, one is because of his blinking blue hair, and the other is that Rocinante often sees Lucas kicked off by Sakazuki. Flying once a day, it won't work if you don't have a deep impression. Advertisement. Well, we're here to round up Doflamingo. We just saw you when we passed by. Lucas saw the injury on Rocinante's body and pressed his palm on the opponent. Open black lens bracket amplification life 5 times. Close black lens bracket. Okay, I have used my ability to save your life, but this is only a temporary 5-hour effect. Lucas said, directly carrying Rocinante on his back, follow me to the warship, where there is a doctor who can save you. All his gains have time. For example, a temporary increase in life is 5 times for 5 hours, but as long as it is doubled, it will be reduced by 5 minutes. Of course, this is actually related to his current physical strength and development level. The more stamina and the deeper the development, the time will continue to increase. Carrying Rocinante on his back, Lucas walked in front, and Luo followed. Although Luo hated Marine, he felt that he could do anything compared to the safety of Rocinante's life. Lucas, let me go. Rocinante said quickly. Lucas carried Rocinante on his back and didn't stop. Luo didn't listen either, and even shouted to go faster. Your life matters, Lucas said, speeding up his pace. You can't take me to the warship, Luo. Rocinante was interrupted by Lucas just halfway through his words. Shut up, Lucas yelled, and Luo followed closely, supporting Rocinante. 2 pirates ran up and down the road, saw Rocinante behind Lucas, and shot directly. Lucas grabbed Luo and dodged with the 2 of them. Carrying Rocinante on his back, holding Luo in his left hand, when he comes to a large rock, he puts Rocinante away. Lucas patted Luo's head. Take care of him. Yeah, Luo nodded, hugging Rocinante. Lucas disappeared instantly and came directly behind the 2 pirates. Puff puff puff, cut twice in a row, and directly use the quickest and simplest method to solve the opponent. There are people here. Suddenly, a group of pirates in the woods raised their guns and rushed towards Lucas. 34 times the number of slashes, power, and speed increase. Lucas slashed 34 chopping waves through the woods, slashing the pirates to death. Just about to put away the knife, Lucas looked up to the sky. Doflamingo's birdcage covers the island. Chapter 16. Rock Giants. Advertisement. Doflamingo put the microphone back on the phone shell and walked with the family to the temporary residence of Dias Barrales. The pirates were killed by them one by one, and the long sword in Diamante's hand turned into a fluttering state, rushing forward, penetrating the body of each pirate, clearing the way for the young master. On a mountain, the house here was on fire, and the pirate at the door raised his gun and aimed at Doflamingo. Doflamingo waved his hand lightly, and the pirate's spear was cut into several sections, and the pirate's body was splashed with blood. Boom. Doflamingo waved his hand, and the wooden door was cut into a dozen pieces. Dias Barrales was attacked by Doflamingo and fell to his knees. Doflamingo, you guys stole op fruit. Dias Barrales glared at him. Trash. Doflamingo turned and walked away. Without op fruit, he was not interested in this idiot. Diamante rushed to Dias Barrales, piercing her with a sword. Doflamingo walked out of the house and looked at the phone worm held by Biba-5. My lovely brother, will it be you? Taking a deep breath, Doflamingo's body trembles. Is even his brother going to fight him? Although it was speculated that Corazon was an undercover agent, Doflamingo never wanted to admit it. When Lucas hunted them down and captured Yora and Gladius, Doflamingo also told himself that the undercover agent was not his brother, but the 2 guys. Diamante walked out and followed the young master. Damn it. Doflamingo was furious, swiping a few thin lines through the house with his palm. Boom. House collapse. Search me. Countless silk threads emerge from Doflamingo's palm, rushing to the sky, turning into a birdcage to siege the island. Search for Corazon and op fruit. Doflamingo ordered, his face gloomy. Understood. Dover, Torapal, Pika, and Diamante led people to search for Corazon and op fruit separately. Boom, boom, boom. Several consecutive cannons made Doflamingo startled and looked towards the place where the ship was docked, and saw that a warship had bombed his Numantia Flamingo 3 times in a row. Marine sank his ship. Hole. Doflamingo clenched his fists. If you let him know who did it, he must torture that guy with parasite string. Advertisement. Doflamingo, grab it with your hands. In the distance, a figure appeared in the snow, and the Crane Vice Admiral rushed quickly. Doflamingo saw the Crane Vice Admiral turned and ran. A lot of years old and running so fast. Doflamingo complained as he ran. He was very afraid of Vice Admiral, but helplessly, neither Corazon nor op fruit was found, and the ship was sunk by some D's insidious trick. He will not leave here for a while. Run. Find Corazon and op fruit and run right away. Outside the island of Minan, 2 warships approached slowly and came in 2 directions respectively, with their artillery aimed at the shore. As long as the Donquixote family appears, just shoot. After solving the pirates, Lucas came to Rocinante and looked into the distance, not leaving for a long time. What happened? Rocinante asked with pain. Someone is coming. Lucas held a knife in both hands and stood in front of the 2. One person rushed as quickly as a flying flag, while the other was on the ground, swimming in the ground like water. With my increase, can you still move? Lucas asked. Reluctantly, Rocinante said, go. Lucas rushed out with a knife. Hide, don't be found by the Donquixote family. Rocinante, Luo, and that hateful marine. Diamante saw a few people and quickly took out the phone worm. I'll help you block him. Contact the young master. Senor Peak rushed forward. Think beautiful. Lucas stamped his palm on the ground. Open black lens bracket amplification density 34 times. Close black lens bracket. What? Senor Peak felt the ground in shock. The fruit he eats allows him to swim on objects or the ground like water, but Lucas can also increase the density of the ground on which he swims. Senor Peak was confined to the ground, unable to move. Diamante threw away the cotton-padded jacket, revealing the bullfighting cloak inside. The cloak instantly returned to its steel form from the fluttering state. Diamante sneered, and blocked Lucas with the cloak, while preparing to contact Doflamingo with a phone worm. Pouch. Lucas pierced Diamante's bullfighting cloak and pierced his body. The penetration and hardness of the knife in the hand increased by 34 times. Enough to pierce through all steel. Advertisement. What? Diamante and Senor Pick exclaimed in unison. Have you forgotten why that shell can't be broken? Lucas drew his knife and backed off quickly. Huh. Diamante held a long sword in his hand and slashed it. Amplification skin defense 34 times. Close black lens bracket. The appearance of Lucas's body was instantly hard, blocking Diamante's long sword. In the next instant, Diamante fell and the sword returned to its normal state. All this happened in a few seconds. Hole. What kind of fruit are you eating? Senor Pick asked Doflamingo what they wanted to know the most. Lucas shook the blood from the knife and walked towards the opponent. It's your turn, Senor. Lucas didn't answer his question. Although I admire the real man Senor in previous life watching anime, the pirate is a pirate, especially the cadres around Doflamingo, it is unlikely that there will be less innocent blood on their hands. Pouch. Lucas stabs through Senor's body and looks up to the mountain. Another cadre found that he was coming. Lucas looked at the running man, holding a knife in both hands. He was not afraid of a few people, but the entire Donquixote family. As long as it is a few people, he dare to fight. Taking a look behind them, Rocinante and Luo had already hid. Lucas was relieved to rush forward. Hole. Go to hell. Pika came up in armor, with a crossface helmet on his head, and let out a sharp shout. Puff ha ha ha, it's a sound freak. Lucas couldn't help laughing. What? Pika stared angrily at the familiar marine, not only killing his companion, but also mocking his voice. Lucas didn't say a word, and directly swung the chopping wave at Pika twice. The 2 chopping waves in midair split into 68 huge chopping waves. Pika's body is covered with armed color to block the chopping wave. Freak. Lucas murmured. Pika disarmed, his body merged into the rock, and constantly controlled other rocks. A rock giant tens of meters tall appeared in front of Lucas. The rock giant Pika looked down at Lucas and slammed it down with a punch. Chapter 17:17. Diversified battles. Seeking collection. Seeking investment. Seeking reward. Advertisement. Are you ready for your last words? Pika stared at Lucas indifferently. It's terrible. Lucas shrugged his shoulders and disappeared into the spot instantly. Pika's fist fell through, punching a big hole in the ground. So fast, Pika said in surprise. Lucas came immediately behind Pika and slashed. Here, Pika turned and slapped Lucas with a slap. Call out. The slash passed directly through Pika's rock giant's feet, piercing the huge feet. Before Pika could photograph Lucas, he leaned down and fell. In an instant, Lucas came to the place where the head of the Pika rock giant fell, and slashed away. The giant slashing wave slashed the head of the rock giant, but it was a pity that Pika was not there. Pika, who had regained the shape of the rock giant again, laughed at Lucas. Ha ha ha, you are just a waste of energy, so think about your last words. Leave the last words to yourself. Lucas walked behind Pika, stepped on the moonwalk, using the speed boost. Lucas came into the air behind Pika instantly like a shadow, and Pika turned to call him. Towards Pika, he chopped 2 waves in a row, and instantly moved to the other direction and chopped 2 waves in a row. Just as Pika was about to follow him, Lucas moved to the other direction and chopped 2 waves in an instant. Wave. The 6 paths chopping wave splits 204 gigantic chopping waves in midair and slashes towards the Pika rock giant. Boom boom boom. The rock giant was chopped to pieces in an instant. Boom. Pika fell, quickly covering his entire body with armed color, and fell to the ground to block the chopping wave that Lucas had cut again. Are you ready for the last words? Voice freak. Lucas came with the knife. Go to hell. Pika pierced the rock below her again, and countless huge and sharp stone pillars rushed towards Lucas. So troublesome. Doflamingo showed his head from a house, and he was relieved to see that there was no crane vice admiral in the street. Looking up at the rock giant in the distance, Doflamingo recognized that it was Pika fighting with people. Did you find Corazon? Doflamingo ran towards Pika, when suddenly, the rock giant was blasted by hundreds of huge chopping waves. Pika. Advertisement. Doflamingo quickened his pace and rushed towards that side. It couldn't be Corazon. What kind of enemy was it that could force Pika to use that trick, and the most terrifying thing was that it could crush Pika's giant rock. Doflamingo, just grab it. He Vice Admiral saw Doflamingo and stood in front of him. Quote. Doflamingo didn't even think about it, turned around and ran, and first dumped the old guy before talking. Lucas uses high-speed amplification, constantly moving at high speed to dodge. Boom boom boom. The stone pillars kept colliding, and Lucas's figure kept moving at high speed. Pika's stone pillar couldn't keep up with Lucas, who had used the speed booster and shaved. Do you want to continue playing? Maybe now your young master has been caught by Vice Admiral and washed away his filthy mind. Lucas dodged and tried to annoy Pika. Your voice is so ugly, it's like a damsel. Lucas slashed to the ground, and Pika, who was hiding in the rock, quickly dodged. Boom. The ground was chopped away by Lucas's S/. Your ship was sunk by my design, and I guess. Lucas quickly avoided the impact of a dozen stone pillars. Continued. Now you still have the top Kadri Torpal and you, as well as BABY5, Buffalo, Rauji, Mahabe, and Doflamingo, who was hunted down by Vice Admiral. Then I will kill Buffalo, who can fly. It depends on what you do. After all, Lucas rose to the sky, and there was a man flying in the sky in the distance. Young master, we haven't found Corazon and Luo yet. Baby 5 sat on Buffalo's back and contacted Doflamingo with the phone worm. I see, find them right away. Buffalo, you are responsible for taking BABY5, Corazon, and Luo, and I will figure out the others. After that, Doflamingo hung up and continued running. No, Marine is chasing here. Buffalo stared at Lucas, who was flying at them from a distance with an ugly expression. Run. Baby 5's arm turned into a gun, aiming at Lucas. Boom. The bullet flew in, and Lucas dodged in an instant. Don't even think about running. Pika rushed out, turned into a rock giant again, and reached out to pat Lucas. You were waiting. Lucas laughed. The Pika rock giant took a shot. Lucas had already appeared above him and swung 2 slashes in a row. Pika slapped upwards, and Lucas disappeared again. The clumsy rock giant couldn't keep up with Lucas's S-speed. Haha. Lucas moved many times again, slashing a total of 8 slashes. Advertisement. 8 chopping waves split 272 huge chopping waves in midair and blasted towards Pika. The rock giant was bombarded once again. Pika fell down. Lucas came to him instantly and slashed it down. I have an armed color. Pika covered his entire body with an armed color, and looked at Lucas mockingly. Amplification armed color 34 times. Close black lens bracket. Me too. I am better than you now. The body of Lucas's sword was covered with armed color, and he passed by with one blow, leaving Pika dumbfounded. No, impossible. Pika splashed blood on his body and fell to the ground. Finally, he glanced at Buffalo flying far in the sky and closed his eyes. Hoo. Lucas panted heavily, bent over, raised the knife, and stepped on moonwalk again. Lucas thought while chasing. According to intelligence, Buffalo is 19 years old this year. He is old, and he has already been trained as a mature pirate in thought, so he doesn't need to stay. The baby 5 intelligence showed that he was only 13 years old, but he was actually saved. Working hard, maybe it will correct her indoctrinated thoughts. Well, kill Buffalo and capture baby 5 alive. As for how Marine handles it, it's not his business. Buffalo, hurry up. Baby 5 looked at Lucas approaching and fired anxiously. It's already fast. He was too fast. Buffalo said helplessly. For example, if someone else's moonwalk is an old-fashioned World War II aircraft, then Lucas's current increase is now a modern military jet fighter. Buffalo wanted to get rid of him too, but this guy was too scary. Buffalo save me. Baby 5 shouted. Huh. Buffalo quickly looked around, only to find that Lucas had already passed by and captured baby -5. Give baby back to me. Buffalo rushed to Lucas and shouted. Lucas grabbed baby 5 and put on his leather gloves first, then took out the seastone handcuffs from his bag and put them on BABY5. Seeing Buffalo rushing towards him, he chopped 10 waves in a row. Help! Help! Buffalo watched in horror as the 10 chopping waves scattered, and instantly split into 340 huge chopping waves, and his empty path was instantly blocked. Buffalo. Doflamingo rushed to rescue Buffalo. Chapter 18. I'm sick, continue to tomorrow. Advertisement. Injured, headache and vomiting. Sorry, I can't do 2 changes today, I will continue to do 2 changes tomorrow, sorry. Chapter 1918. Promoted to Lieutenant Colonel. Seeking collection. Seeking investment. Seeking monthly pass. Advertisement. Doflamingo used Sky's path to tie up the dark clouds in the sky and rushed up. Thousands of thin threads were released by him and turned into a spider's web wall, blocking all slashes. Doflamingo, don't you treat them as family members? Do you choose Baby 5 or choose your own and other subordinates' lives? Lucas held BABY5, reached out and hit Doflamingo's parasite string with a knife, and went down. Doflamingo stared at Lucas with an ugly face, controlled countless parasite strings to rush towards him, and manipulated a part of the silk thread to try to take Baby 5 back from the opponent. Lucas used a knife to block Doflamingo's thin line of BABY5, while using the epidermis 34 times to defend. Doflamingo's parasite string rushed to the surface of his body and was directly blocked. *hole, return to Baby 5 soon, or we will kill you and your family sooner or later. Buffalo shouted angrily. Sorry, I've been a homeless kid since I was a kid, and I don't know where my family is. Lucas smiled, and then gave Buffalo a middle finger. Buffalo was speechless, threatening was useless. Buffalo, go find other people in core zone, let's run right away. Doflamingo said, removing the birdcage from the sky and rushing towards Lucas. 5 color strings. Doflamingo hit Lucas. Trick. Baby -5. Lucas put Baby 5 directly in the middle, blocking Doflamingo. *hole. Doflamingo quickly retracted the line and looked back. With Lao Ji sitting on Buffalo's back, Mahabasi floated towards him, and finally glared at Lucas, took note of the *hole's appearance, turned and stretched out. Line. Dragged Torapal up. Several people ran away quickly. Lucas looked at Doflamingo who was going away, fell to the ground, and lay on the ground with a flutter. Too tired, he really doesn't have any strength anymore. Don't talk about it, Doflamingo will take a while, and he will lose even Moonwalk's strength. With a high multiplier and playing so many times with so many people, it's too exhausting. It's okay. The Crane Vice Admiral hurried over and looked at Lucas. I'm starving, Lucas shouted, patting his stomach. Advertisement. That's all right. Vice Admiral raised his head and glanced at the few people who disappeared into the sky. Next time I meet Doflamingo and the others, I don't know when it will be. Crane Vice Admiral asked someone to take Baby 5 away, but Lucas struggled to stand up and quickly walked away. When he came to a haystack, Lucas kicked the haystack away. The 2 people who had been hiding here had long since disappeared. Instead, there was a note. Lucas, thank you for saving us, but you don't know many things. Luo can't take it to Marine because it's not a good thing for him. Rocinante stays. Lucas took the note, sat down in the haystack, and lay down. He knows what Rocinante is worrying about. Luo ate op fruit. It is said that people who ate op fruit will be able to perform a longevity operation for others at the end of their development. Others can get longevity, and those who are capable themselves will die. Lose. Lucas touched his waist and took out a jug of wine, only to see that the jug had leaked early. Hey, in the past, I only knew the speculation of op fruit. Now that Rocinante would be so scrupulous, there is a high probability that this is true. Because Doflamingo, like Rocinante, was born from celestial dragons and knew the secrets of celestial dragons, as well as those secrets that ordinary people didn't know. It's time to go back. At this time, Monet, who arrived in time, put a pot of hot wine in Lucas's hands. Okay. Lucas sat up, poured wine for a while, and followed Monet to the warship. The roundup failed. However, the results were not bad. Lucas killed Diamante and Pica, the top officials of the Donquixote family, killed other officials Senor Peak, and captured Baby 5 alive. The pirate ship of Doflamingo was sunk by the plan, and the Donquixote family, which had been developing for many years, suffered a heavy blow. Back on the boat, Lucas drank wine and ate frantically while holding a rice bowl, with sugar and Monet on one side, and the 2 supported their chins and watched him eat meat. Lucas poured wine, then looked at Vice Admiral. What shall we do next? Lucas asked. According to his guess, the Donquixote family will do 2 things next. 1. They will choose to leave North Blue. Doflamingo's Sky's path skill allows him to move at high speed in the sky in a cloudy place, while Buffalo is a fruit-turning ability capable of turning any part of his body into a propeller. It is simply an airplane. Mahabasi, who is capable of crushing fruits, can control his weight and let himself float in the air. Advertisement. A group of these people who showed their flying ability will take other people directly to fly wherever they go. Lucas estimates that they are likely to continue to develop in the other 3 seas. Second, these people are likely to fly directly to the Grand Line and absorb the powerful pirates of the Grand Line to join them, but now they have suffered heavy losses. Entering the Grand Line will inevitably be rounded up by the Marine headquarters more fiercely. See what happened then and what Sengoku will say next time. Vice Admiral said helplessly. In fact, Lucas asked Pelusolino Vice Admiral to come and support before the action, but the headquarters felt that Vice Admiral alone was enough to deal with Doflamingo, and did not send it. Crane Vice Admiral sat down, touched Sugar's head, and also watched Lucas eat. Others eat according to the bowl, this guy eats directly according to the bowl. Report. A female Marine was standing at the door holding a telephone snail, and Vice Admiral let the other person in. Headquarters contact. The female seaman put down the phone worm and handed the microphone to them. Excuse me, is Lucas Warrant Officer there? The person across from the phone worm asked. Yes. Lucas wiped his lips and said. This hunting down of the Donquixote family lasted half a year, and this time rounding up the Donquixote family, your proposal is very useful. During this half year, you will capture Cora and Gladius first, and set out the top cadre of the Donquixote family, Virgo, who is our undercover agent. Kill the top officials Diamante and Pica, and capture Baby 5 alive. Although Doflamingo and others escaped, you have done so much. After discussion by the headquarters, you will be promoted directly from warrant officer to lieutenant colonel, and the headquarters will hold an award ceremony for you. Congratulations, Lieutenant Colonel Lucas. Thank you for letting me know. Lucas nodded. You're welcome. This round of Doflamingo has come to an end. When there is more information, we will contact you for the next step. Please return to headquarters as soon as possible. Understood. Lucas agreed. Hanging up, Lucas continued to bow his head and pick up rice. Warrant officer jumped directly to the lieutenant colonel. Monet looked at Lucas incredulously. She is still a seaman at the bottom. Big brother Lucas is amazing. Sugar looked at him admiringly. This is a beaver. This is not a beaver. It is a stock, not a typo. So, Doflamingo's sky's path can indeed use a line to hang the clouds in the sky and move at high speed in the sky. Oda Sai painted this way. This is a beaver. Chapter 2019. Snow Fruit. Seeking collection. Seeking investment. Seeking reward. Advertisement. North Blue, on the sea. Crane Vice Admiral's warship sailed slowly, and they prepared to return to Marineford. Recently, Sengoku has no information about the Donquixote family. As for the island where their warship was docked, there was no news about the Donquixote family's actions in the market. No one saw them, as if the world had evaporated. Lucas was not surprised that the family suffered heavy losses, and of course it would not appear in people's sight. Doing push-ups on the deck, with Monet sitting on his back, Monet holding Sugar in his arms, this is his weight. After the last battle, Lucas deeply realized the importance of physical strength, and the amount of training increased several times. In the far corner, Baby 5 sat on the barrel, watching Lucas exercise. After the girl was captured alive by them, what the female Marines never expected was. They thought that doing ideological work for the girl would be very difficult to wash off her original pirate thoughts. As a result, the female Marine said that she would do ideological work for her, but Baby 5 asked if she was needed. The female Marine nodded. Baby 5 directly accepted the thought work with joy. Lucas couldn't help but wonder, after this guy became Marine, would he betray because of the demands of some pirates? So he said directly, I ask you to be my subordinate in the future. Then, Baby 5 jumped up happily. Simply outrageous. This is not a beaver. Lucas has always believed that Oda Sai's cartoons are too idealistic. The setting like Sanji doesn't distinguish the enemy or me or does not beat the woman as too ideal at first glance. But this is a real world, and he has to accept no matter how nonsense it is. So when he usually talks with Sanji, he tells him, first of all, he is a Marine who protects the people, which is very important. Then he taught Sanji not to beat women. Of course, the bad guy said otherwise. The same is true this time. Lucas decided to keep Baby 5 by his side. One is to lure Doflamingo, and the other is to prevent Baby 5 from coming out of mobs in the future. As for why not throw her into jail, Lucas has several considerations. First, Baby 5's devil fruit is very good at fighting and can turn itself into any weapon. In his opinion, as long as there is a sophisticated design drawing and handed to the other party to let her know the weapon structure, Baby 5 is very likely to be even cannons can be transformed. Second, the opponent is still young, and there is a chance to change his mind. As a potential existence, becoming a Marine is also a good thing for them. In the animation, Marine Hina has accepted the original pirate Zangao as his subordinates. Why can't he accept a kid adopted by a pirate as a subordinate? Baby 5 is not wanted at this time, a trivial matter. Advertisement. Of course, doing so runs the risk of being demoted. Refer to the cartoon title page. Hobody broke into the court to protest the conviction of Zangao. Zangao was finally declared not guilty, but Hobody was demoted. Crane Vice Admiral, see the pirate ship in the distance, shouted a Marine from the observation deck. Go forward at full speed, and shell them when you enter the shelling range. He Vice Admiral ordered. Monet and Sugar came down from Lucas's back. Lucas stood up and felt Monet's squeezing of his back, indescribably more comfortable. Watching the pirate ship enter the range, the female seaman controlled the cannon to hit the pirate ship. Lucas sat in a chair on one side. So thirsty, I want to drink, Lucas said. Sugar rushed into the cabin, and Baby 5 followed closely behind. Then, Lucas saw two girls holding a bottle of wine and holding them in front of him. The two little guys stared at each other, as if to prove that I took it first. Puff, Monet smiled at the two. These two little guys are so cute. It's not enough for me. Lucas took a bottle of wine in one hand and poured it out. Boom boom boom. The cannon fired at the pirate ship, and Lucas looked over. The cannonball traversed an arc and blasted accurately towards the pirate ship. The accuracy of this female gunner is much higher than his. On the pirate ship, a purple-haired pirate captain jumped up, a broad knife made of ice and snow appeared in his hand, and the shell was cut with a single knife. Boom. Another cannonball hit, and the purple-haired pirate jumped up again to pick up the cannonball. The capable. Lucas drank the second bottle of wine and stood up. Whoosh. Lucas came directly to the gunner and touched the cannon. Hit it. He attached a hardened boost to the cannonball. The female gunner nodded and shot. Boom. The cannonball rushed towards the pirate ship. The purple-haired pirate sneered and jumped up again. The ice blade in his hand was as sharp as a real blade. Hit the cannonball with one knife. Boom. The purple-haired pirate was blown up blankly and fell into the sea. Captain. The pirates hurriedly jumped into the sea to fish for their captain. Advertisement. Whoosh. On the warship, Lucas was long gone. Lucas stepped on the moonwalk, staggering towards the pirate ship. Monet looked at him anxiously. It was really worrying that this guy had drunk so much wine and passed away. With the wine bottle in his hand, Lucas rushed to the pirate ship while filling the wine. Boom. The captain of the pirate was picked up by his crew. As a capable man, the moment he fell into the water, he almost thought he was going to die. Lucas landed on the deck of the pirate ship and looked at the pirate captain. Go to hell. The captain of the pirate condensed an ice knife in his hand and slashed at him. Hiccup. Lucas hiccuped his wine, avoided the opponent's knife, his feet were covered with armed colors, and unexpectedly kicked the purple-haired pirate's lifeblood. Ah! The purple-haired pirate screamed and rolled on the ground screamingly. She was crying and cursing swear words while she was crying. He never expected that this marine would use a rogue style of play. Thank you for being a marine. Hiccup. Lucas kicked the opponent's face, then took away the opponent's wine gourd. Open the stopper and smell it, it's really fragrant. Gudong gudong. Lucas started pouring in, and the pirates around him helped up the captain. All back. The purple-haired pirate shouted, and the pirates retreated far away. 10,000 years Snow Peak. The purple-haired pirate used his abilities, and countless snow and ice appeared beside Lucas, surrounding him and freezing him. Ha ha ha. Go to death of the idiot. The Zifa pirate laughed. If you don't need eyes, you can donate it to someone else. Lucas stood behind the opponent, drew his sword, covered his arm color, and stabbed the pirate in the back of his heart. What? The purple-haired pirate looked at the tip of the knife emerging from his heart in shock. This guy, when did he come behind him? Lucas kicked the opponent's back, kicked the opponent away, looked at the other pirates, and walked into the cabin. All the pirates squatted on the deck, afraid to move. This terrible marine, who unexpectedly swished, was behind the captain in an instant. Now that the captain is dead, they dare not deal with this guy. Lucas walked out holding a large basket of various fruits and placed the fruits next to Captain Pirate. Then he lifted the knife and walked towards the pirates. 1. Snow fruit should only be available after Monet was adopted by Doflamingo. 2. Logia-capable people can attack more, but the premise is to hide first. If he doesn't see or react enough, or doesn't hide at all, armed color can be cut. Chapter 2120. Granulated sugar. Uncle is so ugly, granulated sugar has to follow his brother. Seeking collection. Seeking investment. Seeking monthly pass. Advertisement. Lucas cut all the pirates over, then turned and looked behind him. One circle of fruits placed next to the purple-haired pirate changed into a snow-white surface with circles of snowflake-like patterns. Put devil fruit away. Lucas had guessed before, since devil fruit will reappear somewhere in the world after the death of the capable person. So think about it this way, fruit is just a carrier, and what is important is a certain existence in devil fruit, which can be called a demon soul, or a devil factor or something here. I heard that devil fruit has a pictorial book, so it proves that devil fruit will only choose a certain kind of fruit to be reborn. Thinking about it this way, can he kill a capable person and then fill the opponent with various kinds of fruits, waiting for the appearance of devil fruit? After experimenting, Lucas found that it could really be like this. Of course, this kind of stupid method, in fact, the probability is very low, and he is only a good one. The way to get devil fruit 100% actually requires Luo's help. That kind of method was seen by his fellow pirates before rebirth. The male lead was moored. Throwing the other fruits back into the basket, Lucas put devil fruit beside him, picked up a fruit in the basket, and took a bite. The warship slowly approached and the female marines came to the ship. Monet ran to Lucas and felt around to make sure that the opponent was not injured, so he was relieved. Is there any wine? Lucas chuckled. Yes. Monet handed Lucas a bottle of wine. Drink less. Hey. On the warship, Vice Admiral glanced at Monet and then at Alexia. Ohm is not against the sky. Lucas and Monet were talking and laughing, and when the female marines had collected the pirates' supplies, they were ready to go back. Lucas holds the wine bottle in one hand and the stalk of snow fruit in the other. After drinking the wine, with Monet in one hand, he walked on the moonwalk back to the warship. This is devil fruit. Vice Admiral looked at him. Yes. Lucas nodded. What are you going to do? He Vice Admiral asked. Of course it was for my subordinates. Lucas said without even thinking about it. It is impossible to hand it in. Honor has a shit, and it is still very important to improve one's own strength. Well, that's great. He Vice Admiral nodded. Advertisement. Lucas found a wooden box, put the fruit in it, and locked it. He decided to give the snow fruit to Monet. In the original book, Monet didn't use snow fruit well. It was because Oda Sai was not optimistic about Monet. As long as it is well developed, it can be very strong. Of course, he was not ready to give it to Monet, let her exercise for a while, let her know the importance of physical skills, and then give it to her. After all, in his thoughts, hockey is also very important. Only when the physical condition is reached, can the armed color be developed. Sitting in a chair to rest, Lucas watched Monet exercise. The first half of the Grand Line, Marine Headquarters Marineford. A warship was docked on the shore, and Lucas was followed by Monet in marine uniform, and two little guys. Saying goodbye to Vice Admiral, Lucas and the others walked home. Of course Monet and the others would not live with Lucas, they just have no place to live yet. In Sakazuki's yard, Sakazuki kicked Luffy away and then glared at Sanji. The little ghosts began to exercise quickly, terribly scared. I don't know when, Sakazuki iron-blooded soldiers gradually transformed into a nanny. Tired. Squeak. The courtyard door opened, and Sakazuki looked at the door in surprise. A woman. 2 kids. What's the situation with this kid? Sakazuki was completely dumbfounded. Did this B************* D kid sneak out to find a woman before he was not paying attention? It's not right, they Marineford have so many heroic female marines, why go out looking for it? He still understands picking up a few children, but picking up a woman is too fake, D. Quack quack. Sakazuki squeezed his fist, rushed in front of Lucas with a swagger, and knocked it down. Boy, treat me honestly, what's the matter? Sakazuki hammered Lucas's head vigorously while examining Monet. Don't tell me, this daughter-in-law really doesn't poke. Stop. Monet hurriedly stopped in front of Lucas and glared at Sakazuki. Who allowed you to beat him? What should I do if I'm stupid? Monet said, helping Lucas blow the big bag on his head. Advertisement. I'm very satisfied with this daughter-in-law. Sakazuki thought to himself. Big brother is amazing, I'm waiting for idols. Sanji looked at Lucas admiringly, staring at Venus. Going out and bringing back a wife, Sanji admires the eldest brother too much. Hey, there are more people grabbing food. Luffy pouted. 10 minutes later, Lucas was sitting around the table, drinking water. I told Sakazuki about their party. Monet and those 2 children were picked up by me on the road. They have no place to live for the time being. They will live in Sanji and I's house these 2 days. Sanji, you and I started sleeping on the sofa today, do you have any comments? Lucas looked at Sanji. Of course there is no objection. Sanji said, pulling the sugar lightly, and found that the little grape-eating girl ignored him, and went to chat with Baby 5 in a maid costume. Lucas gave Sanji a thumbs up. Luffy glanced disdainfully, and sure enough there was an elder brother and a younger brother. After all, he heard Sakazuki say that Lucas has been teasing the girl next door since he was a child. Although the purpose of this guy is actually to cheat snacks. I don't think I will stay here long. I will take Monet out to see when that happens. I want these 2 kids to follow you in their practice since childhood. Lucas patted the sugar head with one hand and Baby with the other. 5 head, look at Sakazuki. No problem. Sakazuki finished, sighing. Really hammered, he has been forced to become a professional homeowner, specializing in looking after children. Luffy, Sanji, Sugar, Baby5, the 4 little ghosts, he not only urges them to exercise but also takes care of their lives. Sakazuki felt that Admiral was getting further and further away from him. Sure enough, saving this kid called Lucas was a wrong choice. He feels that his personal settings are broken. Sugar does not need this uncle to take care of it. Granulated Sugar has to follow brother Lucas, who is more beautiful and gentle than this uncle. Sugar chewing grapes in his mouth, holding Lucas's arm in one hand, staring at him with watery eyes. Baby was also unwilling to show weakness, and said the same remarks, also showing that Lucas' brother needs her. Quote. Sakazuki felt bitter. A few days later, the harbor of Marineford. Lucas was sitting on his warship, followed by Monet. At this time, he was already a lieutenant colonel. Chapter 22-21. Arriving ahead Clockwork Island. Seeking collection. Seeking investment. Seeking monthly pass. Advertisement. A few days ago, someone came to him and asked him to hand over Baby5, saying that it was the remnant of the Donquixote family. It should be handed over to them and detained in an undersea prison. But Lucas believes that there is still a chance for the young Baby5's thinking to be corrected. As a result, he did the same thing as Hobody. Later, Baby5 was declared not guilty, and he was not degraded. But as Marineford's second stab in these years, the upper management decided to transfer him to a Marine branch in South Blue as base officer. Just like to Smoker, let Lucas be there for a while as the branch base Marine, polish this guy's temper and then transfer him back. Goodbye. Lucas waved to Sakazuki and others on the shore. Monet also waved goodbye to Sugar. Starting today, the 4 of Sugar, Baby5, Sanji, and Luffy will be brought by Sakazuki. Where are we going? Monet asked Lucas a bottle of water. Gudong. Lucas drank the water and looked at Marineford, who was gradually disappearing in front of him. Before we left, Sengoku Admiral and I asked for one thing, and he approved it. Monet looked at him curiously, what was the matter? A few days ago, Lieutenant Colonel Lucas, you and your subordinate Monet will go to the South Blue branch in a few days, are there any questions? Sengoku Admiral asked from behind the table. Report to Admiral. When I went to East Blue with Garp Vice Admiral, someone wanted to find it. Recently I saw news about him. I want to go to East Blue first, find the person, and then rush to South Blue immediately. I don't know if Sengoku Admiral agrees. Lucas said while standing in front of Sengoku. Agree, but fast. Sengoku reluctantly agreed. After all, they grew up watching this kid, and of course they can know what this kid can do. When Lucas was very young, 2 people often took him to play, one was his eldest brother and the other was his eldest sister. Take him to fight and bully children everywhere in Marineford. Big Brother has several cigars in his mouth all day, his name is Smoker. Lucas learned a lot from Smoker. For example, for the sake of your own justice, you can go wherever you want to go without listening to orders from the upper echelons. For the sake of your own justice, it is a trivial matter to confront your boss at will. Advertisement. Smoker taught Lucas this way. And his eldest sister, of course, was holding a lady's cigarette in her mouth, who was still in Hina in Marineford at the time. Although Hina wouldn't teach Lucas to do bad things, she took a sip of, how about Hina, all day, full of confidence. So Hina will always tell Lucas after Smoker finishes speaking, to have confidence in herself. Sengoku knows that Lucas is a very good existence in the new generation of Marine, but also knows that Lucas is a guy who has concentrated all the shortcomings of Smoker and Hina in one. He is extremely confident in himself, what he wants to do, what he thinks is right, he will do it with confidence, no matter what his superiors say, he will turn his head in the right direction he thinks. Headache. Knowing this, Sengoku should have Sakazuki drive away Smoker and Hina beside Lucas. Let his Xiaomi Guo play with Lucas when he was a child. The warship sailed slowly towards the calm belt, towards East Blue. Lucas sat on the bow, looked at the sky, and smiled. He said he would look for someone, but he didn't say how many. Sengoku Admiral, who knows that he is playing word games, must tear him up, ha ha ha. On this trip to East Blue, he didn't just go to Ajin. According to Krieg's previous words, he estimated that Akin hadn't become a pirate yet, but he didn't know exactly where he was. In addition, he has to find someone. That is Buggy God tier. For Buggy, Lucas is more optimistic. That's Buggy's Buggy Bomb. Buggy's special cannonballs. In the animation, a cannonball can destroy half a town in a straight line, and it is very powerful. He wants to try to collect the Buggy. After all, he can only get the other's Buggy bombs if he collects the other party. In this way, his warship can be equipped with Buggy bombs, under his high multiplier. In the long-range artillery battle, his warships can be said to be very strong. Of course, if you really can't receive Buggy, you can also ask for the Buggy bombing technique of the other party. The bottom of the warship was inlaid with seastone and successfully entered the calm belt. Lucas handed the water bottle to Monet and walked to the side to start exercising. A few days later, outside the calm belt, leaving the calm belt, the warship moved towards the target. Advertisement. The first thing they have to do now is to drive to an inhabited island, and then ask about it, and see if there is any news of Buggy on the street. Sometimes, the news from the people on the street when they talk about it is often better than the official news. If you can't find out, then go to a marine branch and ask for information. Above the sea, a pirate ship was followed by more than a dozen pirate ships. The flagpole of the main ship is hung with a bear logo. Next to the bear are several playing card logos and crossbones. After the main pirate ship, a pirate ship printed with poker numbers and logos surrounded the warship. A beautiful blonde woman soaked in the pool of the main ship, leaned her chin to look at the handsome blue-haired guy on the warship, and hooked her hand. Lucas's heartbeat thumped faster, which is not a matter of superficiality or superficiality. The point is that this woman is too bold. Take a bath under the public. Lucas quickly wiped his nosebleeds, pretended to be calm, and told himself not to panic. Hey, you shameless woman, don't hurry up and put on your clothes. Monet covered Lucas's eyes and shouted to the blonde woman. Feeling Lucas's hot face, and the blonde beauty who was totally inappropriate, Monet. There was a little bit of irritation. Shelling for me. Monet ordered, and the Marines shook their heads quickly and loaded the cannon. Yeah, the blonde beauty Zhao who looked at the warship, stood up, slowly dressed in public. They had seen this warship a long time ago, and more than a dozen pirate ships surrounded it, because they sailed a little further, but it was Clockwork Island. Their pirates have just occupied Clockwork Island, but they can't let these people discover that the pirates are occupying the island. Otherwise it will attract more Marines. Sink them down for me, the blonde beauty said. After all, dozens of pirate ships pointed their barrels at the warships and fired one after another. Whoosh! Lucas instantly disappeared from the deck, under the high-speed increase, and at the same time stepped into the air on the moonwalk, slashing with a slash. Then he used his amazing speed to come to the other side and slashed with a slash. Whoosh whoosh. Everyone looked incredible at Lucas, who was as fast as a shadow in the air, swinging chopping waves in every direction. As Lucas landed on the deck, dozens of chopping waves instantly split into many huge chopping waves. Chapter 23-22. The Poker Pirates of Clockwork Island. Seeking recommendation. Seeking collection. Seeking investment. Advertisement. Each chopping wave turned into dozens of huge chopping waves, cutting through the cannonballs, rushing straight, and blasting the pirate boats. A fat man with a pig-nosed hat on his head jumped flexibly over the blonde's pool and stood on the bow, looking at the marine who was stepping on the air in shock. The fat man turned his head and glanced at the pirate boats next to him. All the pirate boats were sunk. Most of the pirates were killed by chopping waves. In the vast sea, now only their main ship and the opposing warship are left. Quickly go! The blonde beauty hurriedly shouted. The pirate sailors turned the bow quickly, preparing to escape. Lucas took the East Blue pirate intelligence message that Monet had thrown away. Rummaging. At the same time keep up with this pirate group. Having been in this world for so many years, with just a few small people, he has long forgotten who it is. Playing card pirates. Captain Big Bear King, Iron Fruit ability, Iron Man, offering a reward of 11.6 million Baileys. Crew. Sweetheart Queen, Slimy Fruit Ability, Slimy People, Reward 7.8 million Baileys. Dot 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 dot. Looking at the intelligence in his hand, Lucas fell down and ordered the warship to hang far behind the pirate ship. Just now he saw two members of the poker pirates. They are Queen of Sweetheart and Jack. And the Big Bear King as the captain has not seen it yet. Therefore, Lucas killed them in no hurry. He wants to follow these people and find their captain. The warship hung far behind, and the pirate ship fled at full speed. After sailing for a while, I saw a strange island in the Watcher's telescope. The island is small, but a spiral pillar rises straight into the sky and into the clouds. Lucas has read some books about the East Blue Island and knows the existence of this island. The words, Clockwork Island, came to his mind. Lucas watched the pirates in the telescope approaching Clockwork Island, put down the telescope, and rushed past Moonwalk directly with high-speed amplification. That guy is coming, a pirate exclaimed. Shoot. The blonde woman hurriedly shouted, taking out the phone bug and contacting the pirate above. Advertisement. There are two roads on this Clockwork Island, one is a spirally ascending channel, which needs to be climbed slowly. But everyone who lives on it knows that the first clear road is deceptive, because there are too many traps, enough to kill many intruders. Only sitting in the central elevator is the real way to get up safely. But the central elevator was actually started by a person who specializes in managing the central elevator on the Clockwork Island above. Outsiders did not allow it to go up at all. The blonde woman looked at the phone bug anxiously, but hadn't dialed. In the air, Lucas quickly dodged on the moonwalk, and the bullets of the pirates fell through. Seeing Lucas about to rush to the boat, Jack jumped up, curled up, his body was wrapped in the robes, revealing black spikes and rushed towards Lucas. Looking for death, Lucas's sword was covered with armed color, and he slashed through Jack's body. Wow, the poof Jack, which was split in two, fell into the sea and dyed the sea red. Puff Jack, the blonde woman exclaimed. Puff, 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 puff. Lucas landed on the boat and rushed into the crowd. With each step, one of the pirates was wounded and fell down. This is the elevator control office. Is this the Sweetheart Queen? The phone worm turned into a pirate and said to the blonde woman. Lucas put the knife on the opponent's stomach, winking. It's me, we are back, let's start the elevator. The blonde woman looked at Lucas's eyes and said quickly and knowingly. At the entrance to the side of the cave, a rock wall cracked inside, exposing the vast space inside. Lucas looked at the approaching warship, wrapped around the blonde woman's waist, jumped onto the warship, waved, and let the warship drive into the center elevator. The poker pirates group relies on the boat to get on and off here. Monet followed Lucas and looked at the elevator. The Marines handcuffed the blonde female pirate with seastone handcuffs, while observing here. Monet was wondering how this thing would drive them up. Have you all come in yet? The person on the phone worm asked. Come in, start it. The blonde female pirate felt the knife on her neck and said quickly. The outer wall of the center elevator was closed. At this time, the cavity on the side wall was quickly filled with water, and the warship floated upward. Monet understood. She thought there would be some sci-fi-like high-end elevator, and she would directly take them up, but she didn't expect it to be this kind of watering method. Lucas was also speechless. He thought the central elevator of Clockwork Island would use these people's clockwork technology to take them up. Advertisement. I am looking forward to it. The warship rose slowly, and after 10 minutes, sunlight appeared above it. They came to the Clockwork Island above. The pirate who manages the elevator in the center looked at the warship that appeared in front of him in horror, and Marine who was holding the Queen Sweetheart. Immediately stretched out his hand to control and put the ship down. Lucas came to the opponent's back with a shaved shave, and the knife lay across the opponent's neck, so that the pirate did not dare to move. Lucas observed the distance and found that not far from the elevator in the center, there was a large man-made lake, which should be used to park boats. Otherwise, where do these pirates' boats stop every day? Asking the Marines to park the boat in the artificial lake, Lucas ordered the pirate to drop the gate between the artificial lake and the central elevator. This wiped the opponent's neck. The pirates who discovered the situation in the distance rushed to fight with Marine. Monet rushed into the crowd, holding a long sword in his hand. Knocked down a pirate with one sword. Lucas came to the pirates one by one, and kept cutting down the pirates. In fact, he can use his abilities in an instant to split up many chopping waves and directly defeat these pirates. But this is the first time he has led his warship out to sea, and the first time he has led his Marines to fight against pirates. Monet needs actual combat training, and his subordinates also need actual combat training. After all, he didn't know the strength of his subordinates, he had to give it a try. In the future, he also knows how to arrange these people. What makes Lucas more satisfied is that Monet's strength has improved a lot over the previous few days, and his performance just now is not bad. The performance of the other Marines was pretty good, and none of them were killed. With a knife through the body of a pirate, Lucas looked at the guy rushing in the air in the distance. A guy carrying a backpack and blowing gas from his butt looked at the invading Marines. He quickly turned around and rushed towards the captain, telling the captain of the matter. Lucas stepped on the moonwalk and headed straight for the other person. The pirate spotted Lucas who was chasing him and hurriedly sprayed gas at him. Lucas pinched his nose in one hand and a knife in the other, slashing directly at the opponent. Chapter 24-23. Fight on Clockwork Island. Seeking collection. Seeking monthly pass. Seeking investment. Advertisement. Puff. The long knife slashed through the pirate's body, Lucas fell to the ground, and the pirate who was flying with a backpack jetting gas fell off. This island in the clouds, after coming up, is a clockwork town where people live. And on the upper part of the island, there is a castle, on the top of the castle is the famous diamond clock. The Big Bear King, the captain of the playing card pirate group, stood in front of the castle, admiring the castle. At this time, there were dozens of ordinary people in the castle, decorating the castle under the supervision of the pirates. The poker pirates just got the island, and the Big Bear King who discovered the castle decided to live in this castle. He ordered these residents to decorate the castle for him, in the style of playing cards. Although the defense of the island was done very well, but unfortunately, the Big Bear King's sweetheart queen pretended to be a poor person in a shipwreck, and was seen by the people returning to the island and rescued by the way. And sweetheart queen, she is a slimy fruit-capable person. When the other party goes out, she turns into a slimy person. She quickly comes to the central elevator, kills the person who guards the elevator, and then puts the poker pirate group up. The Big Bear King walked up to the castle. Lucas came to Monet, saw that the other party was not injured, complimented him, and then led the Marines to the castle on the highest point of the island. After walking for a while, at the door of a building in front, a pirate with a whip in his hand hit a resident severely. "Hurry up and go to work, or I will kill you." The pirate shouted. "My son is sick, let me go home to take care of him, please." The uncle knelt in front of the pirate and kept kowtow, crying bitterly. "I care whether your son is dead or alive. We only need the weapons of your Clockwork Island. I don't care if your wife is dead." He took the whip and drew it at the uncle. Lucas listened to the sound, turned his head, and saw the pirate beating ordinary people and was angry. A shave came to the uncle in an instant, and with a knife, he stabbed the pirate's body from bottom to top. Click. The whip in the pirate's hand fell to the ground, and the pirate fell to the ground with a cry of pain. Lucas squatted down and patted the uncle who was lying on the ground and covering his head. The uncle closed his eyes and kept calling in fear. Advertisement. "Don't kill me. Don't kill me. I just want to take care of the child. Don't kill me." The uncle's body kept trembling, and he felt even more afraid of someone shooting himself. Quote. Lucas sighed helplessly, if he hadn't eaten devil fruit, if he hadn't been adopted. Maybe not as good as this uncle. Picking up food in the garbage dump, looking for wild fruits in the woods, Tenton is starving. When encountering a pirate, he would only cry for mercy, but would not have the strength to resist. Not everyone is a monster-level genius, there are still many ordinary people in this world. They don't have the strength to resist. When they are desperate, it is normal to beg for mercy. Some people may say, why is this person so hard-hearted, not like a man at all, rubbish. You on the line. Uncle, don't be afraid, look up, we Marine is here to save you. Lucas patted the uncle's shoulder lightly. Marine. The uncle released his hand, opened his eyes and looked up at the person in front of him. The high noon sun reflected the town, Lucas turned his back to the sun, and the sun shone on his marine cloak, like magic, adding a radiant charm to him. Master Marine, save us. Please help us, ah. The uncle came to Lucas on his stomach, hugging his leg and wept bitterly. The poker pirates occupied our Clockwork Island. They enslaved us to make weapons for them. They produced them day and night. They took our money. 18 hours a day, people are tired every day, this group of bastards is too hateful. Lucas hurriedly helped his uncle, and the more he listened, the more angry he got. The 18-hour forced production will be beaten by the pirates as long as there are some stops. This group of pirates hates more than vampires. Where are they? Lucas asked lowly, suppressing his anger. In the tallest castle, the captain of the pirate is a guy called the Big Bear King. The uncle shouted, pointing to the high castle, and then knelt down again, holding Lucas's leg. He must save them. Lucas looked at the uncle in silence. If this group of pirates continues to oppress, even if these townspeople have more children born in the future, they are afraid that they will be accompanied by slavery for their entire lives. Advertisement. They Marine, what they need is not a servile guy. Snapped. Lucas patted his military cap on the uncle's head, supporting his shoulders with both hands. Don't call me an adult. Lucas looked straight into the eyes of the uncle. The meaning of Marine's existence is to protect the people. Big. The uncle said halfway and shut up. My name is Lucas, I'm a Marine Lieutenant Colonel. If you want to stop being enslaved, please gather everyone and witness us catch the pirates. Lucas shouted. His voice echoed in the uncle's ear, and the uncle looked at this respectable face, and tears flowed out of his eyes. Yes, Lieutenant Colonel Lucas. The uncle turned around and ran to the factory, where there were many enslaved residents. Lucas followed, and Monet and others who rushed in and killed the pirates one by one. The workers standing at their workstations took their tools and stared blankly at the Marines who rushed in, cutting down the pirates one by one. Marine is coming. A woman sat down and laughed. Everyone, Marine is here to save us. Everyone pick up the weapons with me and go with Lieutenant Colonel Lucas to catch the pirates. The uncle stood beside the female worker and took a handful of clockwork to make it. Raise your pistol to fire. The Big Bear King is not afraid of bullets. We will be killed if we resist. A worker shouted in fear. Big Bear King's subordinates are so powerful. What if these Marines can't play the poker pirates? An old grandfather grabbed the middle-aged man's hand in fear. If Marine is killed by the Big Bear King, I don't want to liquidated by him. Do you want to be used as a slave all the time? Your daughter was killed by a pirate. Don't you want revenge? The uncle grabbed the old man's shoulder and shouted excitedly. Okay, it's better to die than to live. The grandfather lowered his head, gritted his teeth, and wept. Lucas came to the front of the uncle and patted the grandfather's shoulder lightly. The old man raised his head and looked at him. This Lieutenant Colonel, let's go, you can't beat the Big Bear King, we can't harm you. What Big Bear King? Lucas clenched his fist and used a hardening boost. Grabbing a pirate's knife, put the knife on the table, and punched the knife in half. Even if he is the great demon king, I can kill him. Chapter 25-24. Catch the Big Bear King. Seeking collection. Seeking recommendation. Advertisement. Lucas watched the people take up their weapons, turned around and walked out of the factory with satisfaction, followed by Monet and Marine, and then the residents of Clockwork Town. The residents on Clockwork Island have their unique clockwork technology. The structure of the island and the crafts in life are all closely related to the clockwork craftsmanship. The poker pirates took a fancy to the clockwork technology of Clockwork Island and asked them to make weapons for the pirates. Lucas took people out of the factory all the way, met the pirates on the road, and directly took action to solve the pirates. Kicking open the iron gate outside the castle, the pirates looked at it and found that it was Marine, and they ran up and attacked with their swords. Catch the pirate, the uncle shouted, raising the weapon in his hand. Catch the pirates. The residents raised their weapons and shouted. Lucas nodded in satisfaction. Being bullied by the pirate, he must have the courage to resist. This is a man of flesh and blood. However, it was enough for him to see the courage of these people, and then he took action against the pirates. Draw a knife and slash a wave of slashing directly at the pirate. Use quantity, power, speed, volume increase. 34 huge waves of chopping rushed out in an instant, knocking down a group of pirates to the ground. Lucas chopped several more chopping waves, and each chopping wave split into 34 huge chopping waves, cutting down the pirate piece by piece. The residents looked at Lucas in shock. This is too strong. All the way to the castle, the Marines dealt with the pirates who were supervising the decoration of the residence and rushed into the castle. Lucas looked at the elevator in front of him and walked in with Monet. This elevator is a real elevator, giving him a modern feel. The elevator made by clockwork technology by the people of Clockwork Island took 2 people to the upper floor. The elevator opened and Lucas came out, looking at the pirate not far away. A pirate with a bear hat on his head and a hairy pirate stood not far away, looking at the 2 Marines who appeared, and shouting, "How did you come to the Clockwork Island?" On the way Lucas came, he had long heard the uncle talk about the poker pirates coming to this island. Similar to your method, Lucas held a long knife in his hand and stared at the Big Bear King. Advertisement. What happened to my subordinates? I will tell you, let go of my subordinates quickly, or I will blow up the clockwork under my feet, and the people on this island don't even want to live. The Big Bear King suddenly took out his hand. An explosive shouted loudly. Since all the Marines in front of him can come here, he can think of it, there must be many Marines coming to the island now. And he did not receive the news, it must be that his subordinates have been arrested. Don't mess around. Monet pointed at the Big Bear King with his sword. They heard about the situation on the Clockwork Island and knew the meaning of the large clockwork under the glass at the feet of the Big Bear King. The whole island, and the long pillars from the sea to the sky, are all machined with clockwork craftsmanship. And that large clockwork controls everything. As long as the large clockwork is blown up, the entire island will instantly collapse. Next, the island will collapse from the clouds, and everything will fall from high altitude. Hey, if you don't want that trash to die, then lay down your weapons obediently. The Big Bear King glanced at Lucas, then at Monet. The little girl is so good looking, do you want to be mine? Where's the bride? You're thinking about Lucas scolded with a smile, and came to the side of the Big Bear King and snatched the explosives away. What? The Big Bear King stared at his empty hand and was stunned. How did this Marine suddenly appear next to him? Dare to hit my idea, go to death. Monet slashed the Bear King's belly with a sword in his hand. Ding! The tip of the knife collided with the belly of the Big Bear King, making a crisp sound. Monet looked at the opponent's indestructible body, and it turned out that this guy's body was as hard as steel, as the residents said. Good looking, it's a pity that I don't want you anymore. The Big Bear King's fist became steel, and then his fist became hot, and he punched Monet. Lucas came to Monet with a shave, adding a 34-fold increase in hardness and sharpness to the blade. Slash at the Big Bear King. The Big Bear King looked at this Marine and smiled grimly. He is a person who has the ability to eat the fruit of iron, and can iron certain parts of the body, and present a high fever state. Since he went to sea, he has never encountered a swordsman who can break his defense. Advertisement. The long knife meets the steel fist, and the blade cuts into the red-hot steel fist, passing through the fist easily like a cake. Feeling the severe pain, the Big Bear King backed back, sweating on his face and roaring with pain. Since the day he ate devil fruit, he has forgotten how to write painful words for so many years. Lucas came to the back of the Bear King with a shaved one, used a hardening increase, and punched the Bear King in the back of the head. Boom! The Big Bear King lost consciousness and was knocked to the ground. Lucas put on leather gloves, took out the seastone handcuffs on his waist, and put them on the Bear King. He had taken his strength just now, otherwise that punch would directly blast through the head of the Big Bear King. So handsome. Lucas is amazing. Monet rushed up directly and threw Lucas down. Oh, pay attention, we are still catching the pirates. Lucas quickly pushed Monet away. Good fellow, he was not killed by the pirates and was almost cleaned up by his subordinates. Boys must protect themselves outside. Keeping the Big Bear King, Lucas retracted the knife into its scabbard, took Monet up the elevator, and sat down to the door of the castle. The people waiting anxiously at the door saw the opened elevator door. Lucas, who walked out carrying the Big Bear King, and the female marine behind him, shouted in excitement. The Big Bear King is not afraid of bullets. This is why the townspeople with advanced weapons were defeated by the opponent. Although seeing Lucas cut a knife with a punch, everyone had a new hope. However, many people are not so sure about whether Lucas can defeat the Big Bear King. Waiting below with a nervous heart. In the crowd, two couples in white robes walked out at this time, a man with a gray hair color similar to a lazy head, and another woman with the same head, only lavender. The two happily watched Lucas capture the Big Bear King, and hurriedly stepped forward to thank them. Thank you very much for helping us capture the Big Bear King and destroy the poker pirates. Thank you so much. The man took Lucas's hand and thanked him. Nothing, this is what we should do. Lucas waved his hand. Thank you so much, let's do it, marine friends, spend a few more days on our island, we invite everyone to have a banquet. The woman took Monet's hand and said. No need, we still have things to do, we will leave here soon. Monet waved his hand and said. Chapter 26-25. Craftsmanship of Clockwork Island. Seeking collection. Seeking monthly pass. Seeking recommendation. Advertisement. Are you in such a hurry? We still want to entertain and thank you all for your life-saving grace. The woman said regretfully. Do you really want to thank us? Lucas looked at everyone. All the residents kept telling him, let's stay, and, let us entertain you. It can be seen that everyone really wants to keep them entertained. Sorry everyone, our time is really tight. Lucas waved his hand. However, if you really want to thank us, I wonder if you can sell us your Clockwork Island weapons. Don't talk about selling, we are willing to give it away. Said the couple in front of Lucas, and the residents behind them nodded repeatedly. We are marine, we won't take your weapons for nothing. Lucas waved his hand. Following the couple to the factory, Lucas got guns made by Clockwork craftsmanship. After the introduction of the couple, I learned that the guns made by Clockwork Island have more precision, power, and long range than the guns used in their marine team. The most important thing is that although some of Marine's current weapons can be fired continuously, the guns are not stable, and sometimes there will be problems with bullets. Lucas personally tried all types of guns on their troops. He has used the flintlock gun that Seahai uses. It looks normal. It has a single shot and is especially easy to jam. It has a short range and other weaknesses. He also tried the weapons used by the Grand Line Marine and the New World G1 branch. Although it looks like a flintlock gun, a gun is very unscientific, and it can fire repeatedly without a magazine. However, the point is, after Lucas tried out the gun on Clockwork Island, I found out that all the guns used by the Four Seas branch or the Marine of the Grand Line are not as accurate as the guns on Clockwork Island. And Lucas also asked his subordinates to come forward with the guns from Clockwork Island and test the guns in the open area. No gun has a problem like jamming. Moreover, whether it is a pistol or a rifle, it can fire continuously, and its range and accuracy are much better than their guns. Advertisement. Lucas's warship actually carries a portion of military expenses, and he first bought the guns on Clockwork Island with the military expenses. Not all Marines have the strength of Lucas, and the use of guns in Marine is still very high. The weapons of Clockwork Island are very useful to them. Everyone, listen to me. Lucas yelled, focusing everyone's attention on him. We Marine is short of manpower every year. I don't know if you have Grandmaster Clockwork skills. We Marine welcome such talents to join the Marine team. Please rest assured that the treatment is based on the best craftsman's treatment. Join us and bring more sophisticated equipment to Marine, so that we can better fight against the rampant pirates and bring stability to everyone. Everyone, I have seen the superiority of your unique technology. The technology of Clockwork Island is not only in life, but also a lot of sophisticated equipment can be made to bring better weapons to Marine, so that more people and ordinary people can join the fight. In the team of pirates. Lucas said loudly, and the young people standing at the back looked at Lucas with enthusiasm. After Lucas finished speaking, they shouted their names excitedly, and they shouted to sign up to join Marine. Some of the older craftsmen were hesitant, although they were grateful to the Marines for saving them. But they still don't want to leave their hometown. First join Marine, I will make our Clockwork Island machine. A young man with glasses squeezed out of the crowd and looked at Lucas excitedly. A dozen lads followed him. Our machine can work for a long time as long as the clockwork is turned on, which saves too much manpower. A young man behind the eyed young man took Lucas's hand and said enthusiastically. Oh, this is great. Lucas said happily, being pulled by the opponent with one hand, and patted the other's shoulder with the other. We will also join your team as Lieutenant Colonel. Those of us will make guns that are unique to our Clockwork Island, and even cannons that are unique to our Clockwork Island. The uncle came out, followed by a dozen of them. Young people. Welcome everyone. Lucas hurriedly asked Monet to take pen and paper to record the names of people. These people will be under his for the time being. Let these people who joined Marine go home and bid farewell to their families, pack up their things, and Lucas returned to the warship and waited. He saw the elevator in the castle. According to the mayor's explanation, the elevator was driven by the unique mechanism on their island. Just twist the clockwork and the elevator can go up and down. It's just that the central elevator that controls the upper and lower islands needs to carry large ships, so no clockwork elevator is used. Since their clockwork elevator can be activated by a unique mechanism, Lucas thought, can a clockwork machine be installed on his warship as a backup power? Advertisement. In this way, when the wind direction is unfavorable, they can put away the sails and directly use the clockwork machine to drive the warship to chase the pirates. Not all marine ships are equipped with foreign ships. Such technology can definitely provide great convenience to marine as a whole. In the distance, a dozen young people ran over and came under the warship. Lucas looked at it suspiciously. These people were not the artisans who had signed up before. Are you here to sign up for Marine too? Lucas asked with a smile on his stomach over the railing. Yes, we have to join you too. The young people looked at Lucas and shouted excitedly. What will you do? Ensign asked, standing under the warship. We don't know how to make weapons, and we don't know how to make machines, but we can shoot guns, said the headed young man enthusiastically. Oh, pistol. Lucas gestured, teasing them. The headed young man realized the meaning of the gesture and blushed. Ahem, please don't be kidding, we are talking about shooting. Our accuracy is not worse than yours. Yes, I'm talking about shooting, Lucas grinned. The young people were embarrassed and had nothing to say. Puff ha ha ha, you come with me, since we are going to be a marine, then we have to test you. Ensign took the young people to the cabin on the warship, and one of them fired a long spear. The Marines pulled out a dozen pirates they had captured alive and tied them to a tree in the distance. Keep a few young people away. Come on, let's take a look at your marksmanship and determination. Ensign patted the head of the young man on the shoulder and pointed to the pirate on the opposite side. In fact, regarding Clockwork Island and the poker pirates, I made an adjustment at this time, don't like it.